the new fragrance. Sephora, the best fragrances are here.
What's going on, everybody? John here with you. It's a Thursday, November 20th, 2025. We should have a good game on the horizon here. It's two teams that are in pretty good direction, but one needs to go start scoring some goals, and the other wants to just continue to pile up these wins. So for head coach Lane Lambert, it's the Seattle Kraken. They're 9-5-5 on the year. Now, the CBS line is a little bit different than what I saw in the open. The first line still matters. Matty, Beniers, Mason Marchment, Jordan Eberle, with Vince Dunn and Adam Larson on defense. Berkeley Catton's going to move up to the second line in place of Ryan Winterton, but it's Chandler, Stephenson, Jaden, Schwartz with that, and then Ryan Lindgren and Brandon Montour. Freddie Gaudreau, Eeli Tolvanen, and Shane Wright will be the third line with Riker Evans and Jamie Alexiak, and then Oscar Fischer-Mollegard with Ty Cartier, and we're going to have Ryan Winterton on that fourth line. Joey Decord will get the start in that tonight. Phil Gerbar should back him up. For the Chicago Blackhawks, they haven't had the most difficult schedule of late, but they have been racking up the wins. Again, Connor Bedard, 22 points in his last 11 games. This is the first time officially that I've covered the 20-year-old. Again, Alec Nava opened the season a couple of years ago against Pittsburgh and Chicago when it was Crosby and Bedard, but Bedard has been ridiculous this year. He's in the first line with Ryan Green and Andre Burakovsky, again, the former Kraken man and Colorado Avalanche man, which won the Stanley Cup. Alex Bassick and Luis Crevier will be the defensive side. Frank Mazar, Tyler Bertuzzi, Oliver Moore, so U of M man and former Red Wing, with Y. Kaiser and Artem Levchinov from Michigan State, the second overall pick. Ryan Donato, Teuvo Teravainen, and Ilya Mikheyev, Sam Lafferty, Colton Dock, Sam Renzel, with Matt Grzelcyk and Connor Murphy. Spencer Knight should be the goaltender of record, as we're getting a little bit of a ceremony for the opening puck drop. Albert Soderblom will back him up. They are head coached by Jeff Blashill. They sit 10-5-4. And as I get into some of my notes here, for what we have with the Blackhawks, again, 13 goals, 16 assists, 29 points, and a +10 for Connor Bedard. And again, he's still only 20 years of age, still really rounding out his game, and he's looking really good. And when you compare him to Macklin Celebrini of the San Jose Sharks and some of these other young netminders around the league for those teams, they're in really good shape right now. Again, as we talk about Chicago, they are fifth in goals for and against at this point. So when you had Luke Richardson in behind the bench, and alongside everything else they had before they brought in Jeff Blashill, again, their roster wasn't as good. They were purposefully tanking in order to get some draft lottery luck. You get some good players in between, but you get a superstar like Connor Bedard alongside all the other players that they've been drafted well. It seems like they're starting to come out of this tank, and they're still very close to American Thanksgiving and a playoff spot. Again, in their recent wins of late, it's Calgary twice, Toronto, Vancouver, not all that tough. Again, when they played Seattle on November 3rd, they lost 3-1. And the Blackhawks still have Buffalo, Minnesota, and Nashville in this part of the schedule where they can continue to rack up points. For the Seattle Kraken, they're now 1 point out of the wild card, so this is a pivotal swing game in the Western Conference. Kappo, Kakko, Jaden, McCann are still out. They're getting closer. Seattle's still picking up points for the majority in their last 10. They're 4-3-3. They're coming off of a 4-2 loss the other night to the Detroit Red Wings, but it's the second of four straight on the road. Detroit, Chicago, Pittsburgh, and New York Islanders. Raise your hand if you had them all as playoff teams, because they are right now. The one for the thing for the Kraken that we will mention, since covering them a few weeks ago, they're 28 of 32 in goals for. They're 7th in goals against. So both of these teams are excellent on the defensive end. Seattle does not score that much. Chicago scores a ton. So this should be a fun matchup. Again, admittedly, this is my first time watching the Chicago Blackhawks since they've gone through their rebuild. So I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. And again, either way, this is a topsy-turvy swing game in the Western Conference. One of these teams will go back into a playoff spot at the end of the night or stay in it for Chicago. So I might have a little bit of the roster construction. I do have it in front of me. I might be messing up a couple names here because I have not covered the Blackhawks for several seasons. Again, they look completely different, but it's a host of good young players. They're excellent draft and a little bit of draft luck there for Connor Bedard as well. You trade for Spencer Knight. Again, Ian just sent me the text across for all the top young NHL netminders, and Spencer Knight is right there. He's completely shut the door. So I'm expecting good things for him against the Seattle team that probably doesn't score that much.
It is good to hear your voice, John.
How you doing, Ian?
Doing well, man. I'm doing well. There's a lot that I want to go over with you, but the first question I have for you regarding the head coach of the Chicago Blackhawks, a face that
Yes.
you are very familiar with, Jeff Blashill. I want to ask you, is this a fluke? Is he still a bad coach riding a wave of young talent, or did those final falling years into the rebuild years sour his coaching reputation?
I would say it soured at Ian, to be honest with you, because when he was with the Red Wings, he never had a competitive team whatsoever to work with. And now that he's joined the Blackhawks again, if he had the first stay that Luke Richardson did, he would have been in the same spot. But they finally gave him a team of young talent to work with. And the one thing Jeff's always been able to do is mold these young players. And they look really good right now before American Thanksgiving. So here we go now as Tyler Bertuzzi. This one gets knocked away from him. Another former Red Wing and Frank Nazar on the Michigan side as well. There's a ton of players that I'll be familiar with as far as that college level as Bertuzzi sends this pass across to Alex Vlasic. Again, we are at the United Center right now. It's just good to see some Chicago Blackhawks on my TV because I haven't really covered all that stuff since the Tays, Hossa, Kane days. As it's picked up by Eberle, long shot. This one hits the left side of the glass and stays in play, although their feed's a little jumpy, so I might have to go over to the Seattle feed once we get a stoppage. As this is picked up across the faceoff dot, Andre Burakovsky, former Kraken man, as this will go back to Jaden Schwartz. It'll be intercepted, but Bedard trying to play it out in front as this bounces off the left side of the blue line. He picks it up now, spin and turn again. Bedard, not the biggest man on the ice, but he certainly racks up points, can definitely skate. He's got one heck of a shot. Kaiser sends this one, picked up off the drop pass again in Seattle. We'll go ahead and try to flip it out for Eeli Tolvanen, why Kaiser will get the interception. And between him and Frank Nazar, Connor Bedard, Ryan Green, have a lot of really good young players that you might not have heard the name of, but as you continue along the NHL season, they'll certainly be up on your radar. Here's an opportunity off the back pass. Seattle off the rush, and that shot goes wide to the right of the post. Chicago quickly trying to press the other way as this is picked up toward the right side red line. Donato will try to get it out. And now Seattle and their road whites in the mix of the turquoise and black as this is picked up toward the right side, chipped off the glass. Chicago really loves to play with pace. Again, they're fifth in goals for and against in the mix of it. So they're one of the best teams in the NHL as these two try to jockey for a spot in the wild card. Sam Haggerty now will pick this one up. Vlasic will watch. We'll get this pass now toward the right side dot as this goes across the Centennial logo of the Blackhawks here, 100. This is the fourth line for Lane Lambert, Scott, and Ryan Winterton, as this will be recollected a couple times. Oscar Fischer-Mollegard, the second-round draft pick of 2023 for Seattle, is making his debut today on a fourth line. As this one gets sent in. Seattle now, Brandon Montour gets it out the other way. No shots on goal really to speak of here. The puck has been moving quickly, though, but it's been stuck in the neutral zone for the most part. Here's a partial break, and that was for Bedard. He shot it way wide as it took some of the Chicago fans up out of their seats. Stop now for Matty Beniers. Gets through a hit. Here's a chance for Spencer Knight as this will be shoveled away toward the right side red line. Seattle's got the first two shots of the hockey game here. The 16:45 in the first. John Under with you alongside Ian Genge from the United Center as we're watching this one. Spin and turn toward the left side. Down. Here's a lead for Tyler Bertuzzi. Trying to funnel in up front of the net. This bounces off the stick of Beniers. On the left side corner. This will be intercepted there for Jordan Eberle. Good draw way to go ahead and find himself a lane toward the left side dot. Drop for Beniers, and he gets all bunched up in the middle of the slot. Loses the puck. Tyler Bertuzzi now gains the left side red line. Flips it in. As Frank Nazar go ahead and have a spin and turn on the Teuvo Teravainen. This is a slap shot right at the net. It took Decord out of his crease as Tyler Bertuzzi bumped into him. And this will be sent back in from Artem Levchinov, former Michigan State man. This is Levchinov again off the drop. A little bit of a fan of a chance as this goes in the left side red line. Bertuzzi tries to get another retrieval. Vince Dunn covering the middle of the slot. Bertuzzi providing a screen. As this is kept on the outside, Seattle finally steals it. Now Eberle can finally take a change. He's been out there for about 2 minutes. This is a full sail change now for Lane Lambert's squad. 15:30 thereabouts left in the first as we're still scoreless. Find an entry now. Here's a chance toward the right side for Tolvanen, and that gets kicked away by Spencer Knight. And put in toward the right side red line. Knight will throw it back toward the dot. And this is recollected toward center ice off the back skate for Jimmy Alexiak. His 700th career NHL game. As it's flipped in, Cormier push it ahead for Vlasic, a pass out in front. Seattle can't still. And now Teuvo Teravainen, Ilya Mikheyev tries to get to it. Now Riker Evans will pin him against the glass. Mikheyev, former Maple Leaf, gets stick lifted. Seattle can't get it out of the zone. Here's a wrist turn right into the stomach of Decord. I'm going to go ahead and switch my feed very quickly. That was Kaiser who let it go. So let's pause this recorder for a moment. I'm just going to try to flip to the Kraken cast because the Blackhawks one is a little jumpy and I promise it's not the internet. So 14:40 left to go in the first. There's another chance for Kaiser. We're back in play here off the faceoff. This one's much clearer, so I'm going to stick on the Kong feed as this is taken away by the Blackhawks. And then Mikheyev will send this one down to Decord. Teuvo Teravainen try to get it down. As Brandon Montour has to help out his defensive partner. Loose on the front. What a stop by Decord. Off the one-timer. He goes all the way out in front and gets an absolute robbery. That was Teuvo Teravainen that tried to let it go. It was a turnover. Mikheyev feeds it out in front to Teuvo. Joey Decord meets him right there. That should have been 1-0 Blackhawks. That was a sparkling stop. Pull back up this box and the team stats here for ESPN. I'll break all the things down when we get another break as far as what we got on the league-wide scoreboard today. Got a ton of games. Shot board reads 3-3 in between these two, but Teuvo Teravainen with the best chance of the game so far. 14:10 left to go in the first. A little bit too far for Montour. And now the Chicago Blackhawks can successfully go right to left. Here's a stop here for Doc at the left side red line. Funneling around the end boards here. Vlasic will watch on his back skate. But this is picked off by Brandon Montour. Knocked away from Sam Renzel for a moment. Here's a centering feed, but Alex Vlasic right there. Good cold pass. Couple of stick lifts there attempted for Seattle, but they don't get it. Sam Lafferty on the off wing, but we'll just go ahead and take a change for Jeff Blashill's squad. Pretty entertaining so far, but no goals just yet. 13:30 left to go in the first round. We're with you alongside Ian Genge in this first. As it's scoreless, picked up now by Seattle across the neutral zone. Mason Marchment, he was come over from the Dallas Stars. This is lead for Vince Dunn, who was on the push, and Matty Beniers held against the glass as Chicago flips it down. Not far enough for icing, though, so Vince Dunn got to be careful here as he picks a rolling puck toward the left side red line. Try to find Jordan Eberle as this gets canceled off. Matt Grzelcyk, former Boston Bruin, will make this pass across. Plus minus for Grzelcyk at 10 now. There is a lot of plus on this team for the Chicago Blackhawks, so they're no stranger to scoring goals 5-on-5. That's how you can pretty much book yourself a playoff spot. Usually, if you're ahead by American Thanksgiving, which we're close, you got more than a 70% chance, they usually say, to make the playoffs. And that would mean a lot for the Blackhawks because I don't think anybody picked them to be this good just yet. I'd say the same thing with the Kraken as it's sitting on 5-5. Connor Bedard off of 1-on-3 lost the puck. Burakovsky tries to help him. And this lift to the number 98A, who just got the assistant captaincy a couple days ago, goes out, but Wyatt Kaiser helps send it back in. Joey Decord has some trouble with it. He's got a hole before he sends it across the right side dot. Now picked up here for the Kraken toward the right side boards, trying to get around the defense here. The little bit Grizzlick now gets a pin and toward the left side red line. Burakovsky's still out there. They can't get a number. It's calling Jaden Schwartz. I see it there. Shane Wright will get it to his D-man. Here's a puck. Go right back to Shane now. I'm trying to just buy some space. The Chicago Blackhawks, beautiful defense. They're able to take this away from Winterton. And now Seattle gets the steal. Riker Evans will throw this one across to Brandon Montour. Flip it in. Opportunity for Berkeley Catton. Number 77 off the drop. And Donato, former Kraken man, will get this out. Teuvo Teravainen. And alongside for Rinzel, bounces off the stick shaft of Joey Decord. This goes D-to-D, Alex Vlasic. This goes between a couple of skate blades. Flip back down. And toward the left side, Sam Lafferty now to Vlasic at the point. Goes up and on a play off Shane Wright with 11:07 left in the first. Finally take a break. I feel like I know we'll take a breath. Shot boards 3-3. We're still scoreless.
So I was watching the Blackhawks for a bit, and what I can say is this. John, Ryan Donato will probably go down for this offseason as the most important signing for our team. Yeah.
I agree with you completely. I mean, we were all kind of stunned in terms of where Donato could have gone. He pretty much could have picked his spot, but he liked the core that was in Chicago. And really, I could ask you this question, Ian. I'd love to have a conversation here. If Donato went elsewhere, would he have made as much of an impact? The answer is probably not. He's got a perfect fit in here with the Blackhawks.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. I said, honestly, the only place he probably could have gone and still made this kind of impact, simply because this team doesn't have a lot of scoring depth,
Right.
is Edmonton.
Yeah, I would have agreed with you completely there. Don't you think they would have traded Ryan Donato for Trent Frederick? My goodness.
Oh my God. When Alec and I saw that contract, we were both just flabbergasted. I mean, that much for Trent Frederick, and I thought that contract is making what Boston gave Tanner Jeannot look like.
Right.
Actually, no. That contract is still absolutely insane for Tanner Jeannot to get. But at the very least, Tanner Jeannot's scoring a little bit.
Yeah, he is. And Tanner Jeannot, to his credit, he got that monster trade that few seasons ago from the Tampa Bay Lightning where we all shook our head. And then Boston doubled down there. But you're right, because Trent Frederick only has 1 point on the year, I believe.
And hang on, we're coming back, so I'll tell this in a bit. But there's something that we need to address.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to that as Teravainen try to get it out of his own end. Again, we're still scoreless. We're almost halfway through the first here. Shot board rates 3-3. Watching this one from the United Center. Now, Ian's been able to watch the Blackhawks a little bit more than me, but I've been really excited for this game since thinking about it from this Thursday start. I'm going to try to get one on Saturday, but admittedly that'll be double duty for me for the Waterford Sharks, but we'll see what we can get. Beniers now on his backhand toward the left side dot, trying to shovel it ahead, but McCann gets the steal. We'll send this one through center. Now back to Joy DeCord. Now his numbers have gone down of late. He's about an 80 save percentage. Joy's a much better goaltender than that. And Seattle's had the good defensive attention to detail, and that's got to be able to continue against a team like the Blackhawks. Doc lost it for a moment. Now Nazar bounces away from Lafferty. Seattle gets the steal. Chris Grimola sends this one down the ice again. He's making his debut on the fourth line side. As this is a pin by him. Nazar trying to locate this toward the right side red line. It's tied up with Ryan Winterton as well as pucks just being jammed at now and killing time in the D end of the Hawks. And Spencer Knight on the stand up to the left of the post. Again toward the wall. Seattle gets it out. This is a defensive struggle right now for both of these teams. But you know what? It's good to see. They're having the measure of the moment here. It's a good flip pass. And they're away from the Seattle Kraken. Burakovsky gets a steal. Got that first line there. Green out there with Bedard. And this one will be flipped back down. Here's a chase for the Chicago defense. As this is flipped back around for LA Tolvanen. Now picked up off the backhand. See what they can do here. Montour through the traffic. Bounce up on the Kraken skates. It hit Tolvanen's stick. And now this will be left. Levshinov tries to find it here for Ryan Green. And Green will pick this one up there for a moment. Jaden Schwartz gets the steal. And he'll recollect now and then fan on the pass attempt as it's picked up here for Connor Bedard. And off the half spin and lead for number 98. They try to leave it back to him there, but he gets canceled off by the defense, and Jaden Schwartz throw it back into his own end. 8:35 left in the first. Seattle again in the road whites in the mix of the black. Chicago in their road reds with the black striping in the white part of the pants. As you get a full cell change for Lane Lambert's squad. Here they go from left to right. Breakout pass from 200 as this bounces off some bodies. Berkeley Catton gets the steal. Shane Wright out there now. And this is a wafted slow pass. Able to get out of the zone. Matt Grizzly might have to retreat to his own end. But Doc able to get the steal there for a moment. And now race. Here's Oliver Moore toward the left side of the glass and alongside Frank Nazar. It's a good, really good second line that they mixed in. Oliver Tuzzi now is spending some time on that line as well. As it's picked up away from the zebra here, Berkeley Catton will just throw it in an open area. And Seattle will slap shot it toward the left side red line. Grizzly in his own end. Have to start again now. Sam Renzel. Pick it up now. Windmill trying to buy himself some space. And toward the left side red line and flipped in to Joy DeCord. DeCord make this pass toward the right side red line now as this is contested into the neutral zone. Flip back down off a skate so it's not icing. Teuvo Teravainen gets the recollect. Turnover right in the middle of a slot for Beniers, but he fanned on it. He got partially blocked. Hit Spencer Knight in the left pad as he stopped it. And now Jordan Eberle too far for him. Teuvo Teravainen, good stick in the lane. Seattle has the puck for a moment. Mason Marchman between his skate blades trying to find Eberle. Goes back to the point. Alexiak. That one is a kick save by Spencer Knight. He wasn't even looking at it. Mason Marchman right in the middle of a slot. Here's a chance toward the net. Right out in front. Oh, what a stop by 90. Rob Eberle. It just bounced right to him. And a couple of saves there for both goalies in this period, just like that. As it's picked up now by Mikheyev. It gets blocked. Knocked away from Mason Marchman and Winterton. And now Marchman starts in his own end. 6:30 left to go on the first couple of big saves from both goalies. Here's Bedard. He'll spin away from Brandon Montour. Just holds the blue line on his backhand. What a pivot. Bedard lets it go. It's the corner up in the high with the mask. And it's picked up now as this is sent back around. What a skating display by Bedard. Kaiser off the drop. Rister, good save the cord. And now the Blackhawks starting to turn up the pressure here. As Alexiak trying to take a breath and behind his own end. As it passed across the glass from side to side here as Seattle sends it in. Finally get a stoppage at 5:57. A couple good stops both ways. We'll take a break.
Jordan Eberle with a gifted chance out in front. And Spencer Knight is out in deep early.
So, John,
Mm-hmm.
In one of our broadcasts after the Stanley Cup Finals, you asked me to name 2 teams from
Yeah.
each conference, one to miss the playoffs and one to make the playoffs. For the East, I said the Capitals would miss and the Blue Jackets would get it. Do you remember who I said for the West?
I know that you said the Chicago Blackhawks were going to get in. I forgot who you said was going to miss. I'd have to listen to it again.
I said I simply said it because I wanted to do a hot take.
Yeah.
But I said the Edmonton Oilers would miss the playoffs.
Well, right now, my friend, you are looking very good on all of your predictions because the Edmonton Oilers, their record's 9-9-4. And if you look on the outside, just to the record, without knowing anything else, you would say, okay, that's about average. Maybe they get their typical push in January. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, they have fewer regulation wins than the Calgary Flames.
Oh, God. Wow.
I think that's panic for Edmonton. But you absolutely were right about the Blackhawks, and you were right about Edmonton because I think you and I both agreed I didn't have them out. Again, that wasn't one of the teams I chose at all. But we always said their goaltending and their wing depth is going to be questioned. And when you have even worse goaltending alongside Calvin Pickard and Stuart Skinner, you're not getting the job done. And they got blasted by the Buffalo Sabres the other night.
Yeah.
114 high danger chances, second in the NHL saves for Spencer Knight. Again, that goes to the graphic that Ian just sent me a few hours ago before puck drop here. Spencer Knight has been a revelation. Now, that's one of the reasons why the Florida Panthers had drafted him. Again, he went through the players' assistant program and had to deal with a few other things and this and that, but he's obviously finally now getting a chance to start for an NHL franchise, and it seems like Chicago certainly found their Corey Crawford as this one goes up into the breadbasket of Spencer Knight from Lindgren's chance. He's got it hold. We could talk about, Ian, throughout this broadcast and the way that the Red Wings have done their rebuild. They haven't had the same type of draft block, although they never intentionally tanked like the Blackhawks did. They get Bedard. But then you look at the same thing for Macklin Celebrini and the San Jose Sharks. You look at the Wings, the Canadiens, the Sharks, and the Blackhawks. All these teams seemingly have done it a little bit different, but yet all of these teams, maybe not all the way out of their rebuild, but they're looking pretty damn good.
I agree.
As this is flipped from Adam Larson from Dunn. And see if Vince Dunn can find it now off the drop. That was a good skating display there from Vince Dunn anyway. A little bit too far for Stephenson, but this does get stealed. Sent back down for Larson. Here's a spin and turn for Tolvanen. Seattle trying to find something here in the offensive end. They'd love to add a few more goals here. They will be getting some when Jaden McCann does come back. They are missing his offensive presence, former 40-goal scorer. Good stick in the lane. Knocked it away from... There's Donato now on a break. He just almost hit the post toward the left side of the bar. He just missed. Vince Dunn now off the rush. He was able to steal that toward the right side dot and go off to the races. Adam Larson off the lead for Dunn. It is about 7-6 on the shot board. 4:15 left in the first, still scoreless. Picked up now on the backhand. Tolvanen trying to make a cheeky play. As Beniers will just throw it in an open corner. Now Seattle content to do the same as Jamie Alexiak. Send this one down. Eberle, floating pass. Alexiak into the traffic. This one gets tipped. Doesn't hit Spencer Knight. Matty Beniers gets pinned against the glass, but Eberle is going to help here. Drop for Matty and Mason Marchment. This is a shoulder save for Spencer Knight. Picked up now for Andre Burakovsky. He's got Bedard with him. If he wants to like to throw it back, but this is picked off by Matty. He read what Bedard was going to do. Sent now for Eberle. Hand out of the air now He'll work his way in behind the cage. Matt Grizzlick in his face. And off the drop pass to the screen, Spencer Knight makes the save. Not sure how he saw it. He had Mason Marchment right in his grill up in the air. We'll take a break. Seattle's got an 8-6 lead on the shot where we're still waiting for the first one.
So John, I want to ask, the Oilers, real quick, going back to them. If I thought I had forgotten that Ken Holland was no longer their GM, he's actually the GM of the Los Angeles Kings, which somehow, even with all of his very questionable moves, are leading the Pacific Division, which I guess that with Cody Ceci on your defensive line.
Right.
But with the Oilers, Stan Bowman,
Yes.
when he was GM of the Blackhawks, made many a trade that at the times he made them may have seemed a bit questionable, but you went with it. But turned out it hurt the team in the long run. Do you think that if they are on the fringes, that Stan Bowman makes a questionable Jim Rutherford type trade? You know the kind I'm talking about, where he trades the first round pick to try and acquire immediate help.
So here's the problem with that. Edmonton does not have a first-round pick this year in 2026. Do you want to trade the 2027 pick and leave yourself without picks the next 2 years for Edmonton when you already know that they're thin? To answer your question, I'm going to say he still does it, but I wouldn't.
Oh, I wouldn't either. But we know Stan Bowman and Ken Holland, when it comes to their managerial decisions, are kind of alike.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna hate this memory. I'll trade him for Kyle Quincy, and eventually turning into Andre Vasilevsky.
Yeah, don't remind me of that one, but yes, that's what they do. Again, when you lose in your Edmonton 9-1 to Colorado, 5-4 Columbus, 5-1 Buffalo, and 7-4 to Washington over your recent, you think you have to do something. Again, I'm going to get back into the play-by-play in a moment as the puck goes up and on a play. They're still in the Battle of Florida here between Tampa, Florida. They're playing Tampa right now. I think they have a 1-0 lead. Then they go home, play Dallas, and then they got Seattle, Minnesota, Seattle. So if they don't look pretty good after this Tampa, Florida game, you're starting to think you're a little bit worried here. Look, I know they're only a couple points out of a playoff spot at most, and you think McDavid and Draisaitl even have a little bit more that they can do, which is probably accurate, but you got to get depth scoring. They don't have that right now. Mangiapane, I think, has 5 points on the year. As it's 3:10 left to go in the first. A loose puck out in front. Freddie Gaudreau tried to get a piece of it. He's just come back from injury for Seattle. Picked up off the backhand for Frank Nazar. He is a very good player. As this is put right at the glass toward the right side post. Nazar with a shot up high. This one deflected. Another one tighter. What a stop there for the cord. And Chicago is hunting for a goal. They couldn't find one. Berkeley Catton. They'll try to get it, but he's pinned against the glass. This will be stolen and thrown right to Bertuzzi. And he's got it now. Again, just good to see number 59 healthy. He gets taken down. And are we going to get a tripping call at 2:37? Yes, we are. Chandler Stephenson's going to sit in the sin bin, and the Blackhawks get a power play. Probably going to hear that sound effect on the recording, but my apologies as I dropped the recorder there. When I get a little bit of a longer story, I'm going to do that here. I'm going to try to take a little bit of a deep dive into the Chicago Blackhawks and the way that they built things, just because I want to get a memorandum as far as doing the story and covering them in the future, but I'm pretty interested to see how they've been able to stockpile this talent as quickly as they have. Again, they've had a lot of lean years, but they find a way with young talent. Now they get their first power plays. This was sent in deep by Seattle. Picked up now. Oh, what a hit! And to the right side, Burakovsky loses his lid. Gets elbowed right in the chops as it's picked up now for Seattle. That was a bomb of a hit as this goes back down to Spencer Knight. 9-7 on the shot board. And now Wyatt Kaiser tried to throw it ahead. We'll get a first look here for Connor Bedard on the power play unit as this is sent back around the end boards by Bedard. Now Bertuzzi, he lost it. Seattle flips it back down the ice. Excellent defensive work for Lambert's squad here. Burakovsky, he is going to the room, Ian, after taking a hit like that. He lost his lid. They're going to check him for concussion protocol. He got hit up and elbowed. As this is picked up now off the drop, Sam Rinzel. He'll pick it up across center ice. Rinzel will make a back pass to Matt Grzelcyk. Chicago hasn't done anything on this power play just yet. Try to lead for Donato, but it's sent back down the ice to the former Seattle Kraken man who lost it. Sam Rinzel off the play from Spencer Knight. Rinzel now. Donato. Number 8 makes this pass to Matt Grzelcyk. Find the entry now. Chicago. Nothing doing here on this man advantage. Seattle successfully gets it down again. No shots on goal here for the Blackhawks. Spencer Knight one more time. Picked up for Donato. He will leave across the wall and then send it around the end boards. The pass gets blocked. Picked up for Seattle for a moment. Take a D to D. Now what are they going to do? Rinzel will make the pass across. One more touch. Nazar gets his shot blocked. And here's a chance out of the box. Chandler Stephenson. It's 2-on-2. Seattle to the left side of the wall. And Jaden Schwartz will bounce it off the stick of Spencer Knight. He was in the butterfly holding on to that post just in case the shot came there. 20 seconds left in the first. Shot board's 9-7. One more rush here for Chicago as they have the puck in their own end if they want to. It's down to 10. Rinzel. Rolling puck. Doc lost it for a moment. Seattle forces a steal down to 4. Got to shoot it through the traffic. Picked up away from Spencer Knight and knocked down. That ends the first. Seattle had a really good kill there. They tried to make a chance at the end, but all attention is going to turn now to Andre Burakovsky as he got smoked. Then toward the right side by Ryan Lindgren. It looked like it was clean. He had his head down trying to find the vulcanized rubber. And when you got your head down, head meets shoulder, Burakovsky, he got knocked down like an oil drum. We'll call the second when they come back. So I'm not going to have any goals to tell you about here. We'll just get the team stats and then we'll send it across for your live scoring updates.
Right. So let's see here. Live scoring updates. Oh, well, currently the Columbus Blue Jackets are leading 2-1 against the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Washington Capitals are leading 4-3 against the Montreal Canadiens. The goal, the first, shouting it out, first goal for Washington scored on the power play by John.
Insert the grade 8, Alex Ovechkin.
Yes, probably from his office on the left side.
Yeah.
So, the Islanders are leading the Red Wings 4-0.
Oh, God. Last time the Red Wings played the Islanders, too, they got destroyed. So it looks like Patrick Waugh was playing against the Red Wings.
Yeah. Panthers leading the Devils after 2, 1-0.
I would have not rose my hand at that one.
Yeah. So the Oilers are in the lead, are leading against the Lightning, and as you said, goals scored by.
We can insert Leon Draisaitl or Connor McDavid. Oh, Trent Frederick. Are you kidding me? Just because I say his name, he scores. Assisted by Draisaitl. Okay. Of course.
Of course.
He doubled his goal scoring on the year, ladies and gentlemen.
And his point total apparently.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my. Really? Really? So those are your live scoring updates. The Blue Jackets have climbed up the standings in
Yes.
the East. That was, oh my God, it is.
It's a logjam over in the East.
Listen, when the Buffalo Sabres, with a 7-9-4 record,
Yeah.
are within striking distance of a wild card spot.
They're only 4 points out, so it's not over for Kevin Adams' squad just yet. 20 games in, 7-9-4 is not a terrible record for them. I'm going to say something to you, Ian, that you're going to consider complete blasphemy if we would have known where these teams or projected these teams to be at the beginning of the year. But with the exception of the Calgary Flames, I think we kind of maybe knew where that was going to be. But right now, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Edmonton Oilers, I'm not going to say Ottawa Senators, although they have 22 points as well, but there are a lot of teams on the Canadian side, the Vancouver Canucks included, that could all be fighting for a number one pick in the NHL draft lottery. Now, I will give you credit as far as the Leafs. I think we all kind of knew that Mitch Marner, regardless of what he does in the playoffs, he's exceptional in the regular season, and they're missing him. But right now, there's a lot of Canadian teams that just don't look all that great.
I was saying this, I stick up for Craig Berube whenever I can, because he's the only guy to bring Cup to St. Louis. But I truly believe this. He needs to build his own team. Like he needs to build a team in his image.
Yeah.
At least be around it, because some smart fans will say, well, he won with the players that Mikey O coached. Here's the thing. He was the assistant. He was around Tarasenko and Petrangelo and Shen and others, right? He was around those guys. So he watched them develop. This team, I said that he could go into a team that had a ton of talent and they would win. I was off on that because I was under the assumption too that he won because there was such a collection of talent with the Blues at that time. But I don't think that's the case. I think he was just familiar with the players and knew how to get the most out of them.
I think you're absolutely right. And again, it's to a point. It's still early enough in the year, but we'll see what the Maple Leafs do. I think Brad Treliving's still got some time, and alongside with Berube to make some changes. I don't know about financially as far as player movement up and down. They don't really have a lot of cap space, and they don't have a lot of picks themselves, just like the Edmonton Oilers. But they have to be expected to be better. But it certainly seems like their time as a regular season power in the Atlantic seems to be fading. And I know that they don't really want to move on from guys like Morgan Riley. I don't know if they can necessarily. They probably could move on from somebody like Austin Matthews. They probably would hold on to William Nylander because he's the one guy that always has a little bit of give a damn in his game. But you could try to fast track a rebuild if you wanted to, but I don't think Toronto's ready for that word.
So, actually, all right. I have another crazy idea in my head. I know I have those a lot, and it doesn't have to. Actually, it kind of does have to deal with the Maple Leafs, but also the Oilers. Okay. Say, hypothetically, the Blackhawks are one of these young teams, maybe the Blue Jackets, are on the cusp. They are on the cusp of, or they are in the playoffs, but they know they need a, that last little, that last armament for firepower. Do you think, and I'm not going to say that name from the Oilers, but
Right.
do you think that Austin Matthews or Leon Draisaitl would be on the table for a possible trade candidate because those teams look to be going in the tubes?
I would have to say so. I would have to lean Austin Matthews as much as Toronto probably doesn't want to. I know he's much maligned, but I think when you've already made that move for a change of scenery there for Mitch Marner, I think the way Toronto looks right now, I think they are most in line for a blow up. I will still say, and I know Ian, you've made the mark about the Edmonton Oilers and where they'll be, and you may very well be right. I still think Edmonton has got a little more leeway, but it looks right now like the Toronto Maple Leafs don't have a good enough team to be able to get it going, whether it's combination, as you said, with Craig Berube for his own team. They just don't look like they have it so far this year.
Right. And Austin Matthews, despite his totals, his total points being down, I think this year, at least he's not going to be a 60-plus goal scorer.
Not this year.
Not this year. And this is he's got to be coming up near the end of his contract because it wasn't a super long-term deal when they signed it. Right?
I'll tell you right now. Let's look on Puckpedia. I do want to ask you a question. It's just going to be your honest thoughts. We don't have to really kind of go in deep, but this is something I really want to ask you. Austin Matthews is a free agent in 2029, so you're right. He's only got 3 more years locked down.
What's your question?
This is not something you're going to be able to answer, Ian, but just your honest thoughts. The New York Rangers are 9-2-1 on the road. Pretty good record. They're 1-7-1 at MSG. What the hell's going on with them at home?
I guess they don't want to be around the kids.
They've been shut out 4 times already, and that was within the first 2 weeks. It really hasn't even gotten better, and it makes no sense for what we're seeing. If we talked about this team on the road, they would be one of the best in the NHL, but they're the worst team in the league across home ice. And honestly, if that continues, which I don't think it's even possible for it to continue, because you would think 9-2-1, they're going to level off a little bit on the road and be a little bit better at home. But if they're not, they won't make the playoffs, period.
No. Well, I mean, my snarky answer is, well, why do you think the fellas take guide trips?
Get the heck away. Yes.
Yeah. Some people just don't like being at home. But but seriously, I have no idea. Because it reminds me of a few years ago when the Oilers were still trying to put it together. There was one season in particular where it was simply the team was bad, but their penalty kill at home was abysmal, but on the road they would be penalty killing gods.
Right.
So I don't know what's going on with the Rangers. Honestly, I don't know because they're right in the thick of it.
Yes.
As in most. Okay, well, you know what? Here's the correct statement. The entire Eastern Conference is in the thick of the playoff hunt.
Yes.
Right now. So, with that being said, there is absolutely a chance that they go, that they find their stride, they take a wild card spot. Because it's not going to be this close for the entire season. It's not. Someone's going to pull away. More than likely, the Buffalo Sabres are going to fall off because that's what they do every season. I'm as perplexed as you are because a team losing. Usually, when a team is that bad at home, they're just as bad, if not worse, on the road.
Yes, exactly.
So I don't know.
Just one last thing for me, because I know we talked about this team quite a bit when I talked to you a few weeks ago, and their upstart for the Utah Mammoth. They have fallen on some hard times since we last talked. We pulled back up their numbers on the CBS side, but they sit at 10-7-3. The record doesn't sound all that bad, but they are 1-3-3 in their last 7 games. I think they've won 2 of 9, and they've only averaged 2 goals scored per game since then. They've lost 3 straight in overtime. They're trying to pick up some points, but the Islanders, the Ducks, the San Jose Sharks all beat them 3-2. And other than a 5-2 win at Buffalo, it's a 5-3 loss to Toronto, 6-2 to Montreal, 4-2 to Ottawa. They've got to find a way to score some goals because Utah got off to such a great start, but it's kind of been snuffed out.
Well, it's, to be honest, John, I don't watch a lot of the Mammoth. I paid attention to their rise and fall in the standings, but as for what their identity is, I just don't know. Although, the only answer I can give you, and it's a lazy one, is the fact that regardless of them being in a new place and having a new name, this is still the Arizona Coyotes.
Yeah.
This is still a team made up of players mainly from the Arizona Coyotes. And until the players that played in Arizona are gone, I don't know if a new identity and a new culture will be established.
It's interesting when I look at their numbers really quickly. Again, they got 4 straight games coming at home, but they still, after the 4-game homestand, will have 3 extra road games still played. So they've been heavy road warriors. They're 5-6-2 on the road, 5-1-1 at home. So they're still hanging in there. They're going to have some home cooking coming. We'll see if that changes anything.
We'll see. Good Lord. It would be nice for a team to establish something and not have to relocate after years of mismanagement and shenanigans, but this is still the Arizona Coyotes. They just have a different name and a different logo.
So as you said, I'm looking at this right now. We're going to be closing up this first intermission shortly, but the LA Kings 10-6-4. Again, 1-4-2 at Crypto, 9-2-2 on the road. They got a lot of home games coming as well. Vegas Golden Knights in second, but only because everyone else is all bunched up. So the Ducks at 13-6-1 sit atop of the Pacific. I think we all expected Joe Quenneville and company for them to be better. Maybe not this good already, but there's been some pretty good stories here as we get set to start the second. Talk about the Ducks, you talk about the Blackhawks, even the Kraken, some other upstart teams. The fact that Ian has been able to say it, and I'll punch it again, the Buffalo Sabres aren't out of this yet. It's a much better story here instead of hearing the same old, same old. You just got to ignore the Central because I'm not necessarily certain that the Colorado Avalanche will ever lose another game in regulation. They've only lost one. They're 13-1-5.
Actually, it's not. So Alec, he disappoints to me, and I completely agree that the only reason the Oilers made it back to the Cup final was that everyone else in the Western Conference self-destructed or was injured at full strength. Colorado would have obliterated them.
That's what I would have thought too. But again, we were all on the call there when Mikko Rantanen was able to do the due diligence against his former team in Game 7 because that's who I had going there. I thought that they were going to the Cup final, and right now they still look like one of those teams. In 19 games played, they've picked up points in all but one. As we are back underneath the action here, we do not have a goal scored just yet. No icing. Ryan Lindgren gets there first. As this is picked up by Seattle, they're going to go right to left in this period. And the road whites and mix of the black pants and turquoise. Matty Beniers will send this one down to Alec Vlasic, and right to left we'll go to Blackhawks. Good breakout pass. Frank Nazar. Here's the cross. One-timer scores! It's Bertuzzi! And the Blackhawks are on the board. That was a beautiful play off the rush. I think the Kraken might have got caught on a lazy change as Beniers tried to get that one down deep. Yes, they did for Lambert's squad. That created a 3-on-1 and a couple of passes. Bertuzzi off the second one. I mean, that's impossibly open. No chance for Decord.
I mean, John, I've been telling my dad this the entire time, and I think you'll agree with me. The Blackhawks, right now, they have what whatever young team should have. They have exceptional talent, exceptionally young talent. They have adequate goaltending to keep the pressure off and make them not feel like they have to score, five goals a game to win. And they also have quality veterans to help steer the young guys.
Ryan Donato, Teuvo Teravainen, Tyler Bertuzzi, all combination on there with Frank Nazar. You said some of those young guys, really, really good young guys, as Wyatt Kaiser. This one deflected. This is caught by Decord, but you're absolutely right. And you can say, yeah, it took 4 or 5 years of suffering after those cup runs and everything else. But when you intentionally try to tank and you do get the lottery luck on top of that and you draft well around it, that is how you succeed in this league. That's one of the ways to do it, but the Blackhawks have done it right. And Luke Richardson now is the linchpin for Jeff Blashill. We get to coach this team. Murphy off the tip. Blackhawks, since scoring that goal from the opening of the second, they are humming right now. Shot board is 10-9. And again, if the Kraken concede one more, they would certainly be in trouble because out of 32 teams, they're 28th in goal scoring. This is centered around the other, but both teams are top-notch defensively. And you have to give a lot of credit on Seattle's side to Lane Lambert because he used to be the assistant coach and the penalty kill coach for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I bet they're missing him. As Tyler Bertuzzi gets some camera shots, Frank Nazar on a 3-game point streak. Again, 22 points in the last 11 for Connor Bedard. That is on the line right now as he does not have a point yet. but his team is in the lead. When we get a commercial break, I'm going to get myself another bottle of water. We're going to have to get that refilled. As Matty Beniers, off the drop pass, face-off win, will get this to Riker Evans. Evans will get his pass knocked away by Frank Nazar. I really like the look of this Blackhawks team. Again, I said that in one of my Sharks calls when they had that expansion of my NHL, but I kind of feel the same way about the Chicago Blackhawks. And if they don't make the playoffs this year, I don't think anyone's going to be all that concerned, but I would say down the line, especially over the next couple of seasons, it certainly seems like they're going to get power again in the Western Conference. My only hope is to see more original six between the Red Wings and Blackhawks, but I don't want to be too selfish, but it certainly feels like both those teams are going in the right direction. As Tolvanen will get this one in. Nazar is on the rush. That was cut off by Decor before that pass across. Ryan Lindgren will take this one to the right side red line. Again, the Blackhawks coming off of the win against the Calgary Flames, Vancouver Canucks. They had a 3-1 loss to the Kraken at Climate Pledge, but now we'll see what happens. 3-0 on the shot board this period just for the Blackhawks. Connor Bedard, number 98, gets it back to the point, but Kaiser couldn't hold it in. Now Sam Renzel get this one off the change. Here is Kaiser. His pass off the slot gets knocked away. Ryan Winterton gets the steal. Got Matty Beniers with him. Beniers off the drop for Ty Cartier. He missed it all. Cartier has not found his offensive game, but he's still one of those guys that really likes to be rough and tumble. A little bit of sandpaper in his game. That's really what he is right now. As this is flipped back out for Tyler Bertuzzi, who just scored the opening goal in the second period. There's a rolling vulcanized rubber. Collected by Seattle. Again, Lafferty right there chips it off the glass, up and out of play. 16-16 to get a stoppage.
So this is something that I was hearing. It's dumb. It's dumb when you say it, but there was some question of whether Connor Bedard was truly living up to one overall pedigree pedigree.
Right.
First of all, this is what, his third year in the league, his third year in the NHL.
Yes, he started at 18, almost 17 coming to the league. He's only 20 right now.
Right. So, with that being said, he came into a Blackhawks team that had him and
nothing.
Almost nothing else.
Right.
Right. Oh, we're back.
No, you're good. We're going to get into your point. Make sure you hold on to that, Ian, because I agree with you. Picked up on the backhand now as it's knocked away from Donato. But he had absolutely nothing to work with. Now you're going to have some skill, and he's finding more comfort in his game. It is really what the Blackhawks expect. It takes time, but we'll talk more about it. This is off the back check. Chandler Stephenson gets the steal. Seattle now trying to make some changes. Berkeley Catton off the wait for Tolvanen, but there is nothing there. Blackhawks playing some splendid defense as well. And a dump there for Grizzly right in front. Nazar gets away from a head, stays on his feet. Teuvo Teravainen throws it in around the end boards. Vince Dunn able to push it the other way. Berkeley Catton got some speed. Drop for Shane Wright. Wright takes a tumble. And this is off the lead. It's out the zone. Frank Nazar tried to get this near the players' bench. Teuvo Teravainen, and off the cross check, this will go back to defense. There's a pickup now for the jerseys in red, as this will be sent back down across that same line. That's where Joey DeCord is. Take it D-to-D now. Riker Evans try to go ahead to Shane Wright. Freddie Gaudreau lost it. Picked up from Bedard. Here's a slap shot. That missed everything. Now Shane Wright, and on his back pass. See what we can do here for Seattle as this one's flipped in. It's 1-on-3. Connor Murphy able to win that battle. And a good steal by Eberle. He read the passing lane. As this is flipped back around for Berkeley Catton. Matty Beniers tried to get his stick on it for a moment, but he overskated it. Now Chicago try to get it out of their own end. Brandon Montour to Ryan Lindgren. Toward the left side red line. Burakovsky, since taking that hit from Lindgren, will not return today. We just got that update from Colin on the Seattle feed. That was a vicious elbow with his head down. You kind of wonder if that's concussion. It has to be, as it's sent in from the cord. So Chicago's going to be down a forward in this game. Mason Marchment will get this one ahead. As this will be flipped back down to Spencer Knight. We'll paddle it away. Connor Murphy. As this pass will go back down, not be iced. Ryan Lindgren picks it up in his own end. Shots this period is 3-1 in favor of Chicago. Shots are only 10 aside. Winterton will take a chance. This one goes up and out of play. Give me some of your thoughts again, Ian, on the Blackhawks.
So, here's the thing. Did he come out slow out of the gate? Yeah, he's 18. Yeah, he's 18 years old, and he's 18 years old, and they were expecting him to be the savior of the franchise by himself. Guess what? It doesn't work like that.
Nope.
This is hockey. But finally, we are finally getting to see why he was selected number 1 overall, because he has people around him. Nazer is his line mate. Finally a team decided, the Blackhawks kept Ryan Donato, and for the first time in his career, he had a 62-point season with 31 and 31. Now, will he recreate that? Probably not. But you know what? He doesn't have to, because Connor Bedard is finding his stride. I'm watching the Blackhawks beat him before and at the intermission. They noted that Connor Bedard has two hat tricks in 10 games. That's superstar stuff right there.
It is.
I mean, so yeah, he's finding his stride. Ryan Donato is a great piece. Bertuzzi, great piece. Nick Foligno, a man who's been around. And here's another thing that I'm not sure if you knew, but they are the third youngest team in the NHL at 26.7 years average.
Let me get to this really quick. Most goals before turning 21. Valley Hall at 55. Ronick 58. Tace 58. Eddie Olchuk 65. Connor Bedard has 58 as well. To your point, he is making some grand things happen. And oh, by the way, that's for an original 6 franchise. That's quite the company. Here's a slap shot from McCann as we're back underneath the action here. 13-10 left in the first. This will fall to the cord. Vince Dunn was near Joey as he was trying to help him out, and they're just going to draw a crowd, and that'll stop the play at 13:09. But you said it right, because I'm looking up and down this lineup. Again, Burakovsky's out for the rest of the day, but you brought him in. You got Tyler Bertuzzi, as you said. You got Teuvo Teravainen and Ryan Donato on the third line. You have depth. The one thing I think for Chicago, we'll see if it ends up mattering or not. And between Alex Vasek, Crevier, Kaiser, Levshnov, I know you got Grizzly and Murphy on the third line side. It's a defensive core in your top 4 pairing game that's very young, but they are incredibly talented. And how many times have you heard me say, as this puck goes up and out of play, that they've been able to cancel off the lanes? Yes, I know it's Seattle. Yes, I know they got to play more of a defensive structure and style, but they're not allowing them any space to do anything. That's pretty impressive. 12:59 left to go in the second. This will stay in the O zone here for the Hawks. Nazar is someone I had a chance to watch a lot in the Big Ten. Always loved his game. And I'll just be interested to see what they do with the Blackhawks, as this core is going to have a lot of opportunity to gel together. And as Ian and I said, there's a lot of teams in the mix right now of a playoff spot. And if Jeff Blashill and the Hawks get in there, he's going to have considerations for Coach of the Year. That's really what you have to say. There's Jaden Schwartz. Go ahead.
So I know the game's going on right now, but I wanted to point something out on the Chicago game. They just showed Bedard, and right next to him was Ryan Donato, and Donato was talking to him, pointing out to the ice and coaching him up. That is what I mean by quality veteran leadership.
you have that up and down the line. I'm glad that you brought that out there on their feet. I only switched because of the bounce on mine. So we'll give you both of those angles and what we see. So it's always good to do that. But you're right. Always being able to coach these young players, get them in the right spot, know what the game plan is. And it's an extension of Blashill and company. It's going to come down on the players too. We always talk about that. Backhand right at the net. That was a good save for the cord. And this one will get knocked away. I think one of the Kraken don't have a stick. Beniers gives them his twig alongside the defenseman for Jimmy Alexiak. So Matty doesn't have one. And now he's going to try to guard Connor Bedard. Here's a spin and turn. That one's kicked out by the cord. Matty still doesn't have it here. Feeling helpless as it's Alex Vlasic. He'll take this pass across up top into the traffic. This one tipped back in behind the net as that was saved by the cord. Here's Levshinov, now to Vlasic. Almost like a power play here without a stick there is Matty. And now Matty got hit hard with the puck. He is hobbling. He can't get off the ice. Then he blocks it underneath the skates. What a warrior shift. But this is still with the Hawks. Here's an opportunity. Racing toward the right side. What a shift this has been. Vlasic trying to get it around the end boards now. Bertuzzi gets to recollect. Seattle running out of gasoline. This is kept in by Levshinov. He's about 6'11". Artem on his backhand works his way to the dot. Shoots low. Saved by the cord. Matty's still out there. Does not have a stick. That one got shoved away. Now he tries to knock it off his hands. But it's getting to the Hawks. Right out in front. Oh, play underneath the legs, and that's going to draw a penalty. What craziness.
Wait, who's the penalty on?
That one's going to go against the Kraken, and Matty Beniers is looking like Frankenstein out there.
You know what? Okay, because of my family connections, I am bullied for the Hawks, but Matty Beniers looking like a Spartan warrior out there with no weapon whatsoever and only his body as a shield. Sir, more power to you.
That's one of those reasons why I have a jersey for the former U of M man. I mean, my goodness, you could see him now on the bench. Mason Marchment is the one in the box. It's a tripping call. I guess the one thing for Seattle that's going to help them, they will get fresh lines in on this kill, but that is something I definitely marked in the story here. Is no stick shield. He was out there for about 2.5 minutes. This is flipped back down now by Seattle. It's a second power play opportunity for the Blackhawks. I'll have to make sure I mark more of that when we get a break. And this is knocked away from Bertuzzi, Gaudreau, Karche, Larson, Lindgren. It's Stockton, Otto, Green, Grizzly, and Rinzel. So it's power play numero dos for Jeff Blashill's squad. You got to think one more goal is going to mean a heck of a lot. Good pass. Here's a break. Back in. Oh, what a stop by the cord. What a beautiful feed from 100. It's Doc now. Try to get this one in. That was Donato on the break. He got denied as this one's flipped back down. This has been a heck of a hockey game right now. I really got to cover the Blackhawks more as this is sent down to the left side red line, and we'll start again. I'm really enjoying myself. Again, it's been a while since I've been able to cover an NHL game. Still got a few more Sharks duties. Saturday and then a doubleheader the following Friday. Saturday, this one goes in off the tip out of the air. Was that, who was that got tipped there from Bertuzzi? I didn't get a number on that, but that goes in right out of the air. That's a beautiful goal off the deflection. It looks like TiVo.
Wow.
That's a sick goal right there. As this one gets entered in, this bounces off the end boards. Bertuzzi, my goodness, what a shovel that was at the net. He knew where his guy was going to be and then knocked out of the air. That's a gorgeous effort.
My feed is actually a flip behind you, so I'm going to be seeing it. So I'm going to be seeing it in a bit. But let's see. Oh, wait. Wait. Did this man just what? This man just swung his stick around with one hand. He turned his stick
Yeah.
around the guy's body like he's in the Dark Matrix, right on the Terabyte's stick. Fellas, the BS is real.
I know on the other feed for Seattle, Eddie Olchuk said flat out it was a lucky play, but the one thing I want to give Bertuzzi full marks for, like I said, he had to have known that Teuvo Teravainen was out there trailing. Yes, he's throwing it out there in front, hoping that his teammate's going to get there. He rocketed that clear right toward the middle of a slot. I mean, Bertuzzi's been awesome in this game.
Well, from his, because both Todd and Tyler Bertuzzi played in Detroit, and you saw Tyler play, and that he is capable of some just, you throw your hands up and shake your head afterwards.
That's what I always like about Tyler Bertuzzi. He was not always healthy as a member of the Red Wings, but when he played with the Griffins, played with the Red Wings, he's going to give you his heart and soul. He's going to throw the body. He's going to score some goals. He's going to make some plays. And as you said, that's the exact type of guy that the Chicago Blackhawks would need. And now Teuvo Teravainen and Bertuzzi have combined for their second point, and Chicago's got a 2-0 lead. Eeli and Mikheyev, this is when it gets sent down. So again, as we said, last time on Climate Pledge, Seattle had a 3-1 win over the Blackhawks. Certainly doesn't look that way now. Berkeley Catton, this one in tight, but this goes over the head of Spencer Knight. But Seattle just needs to get some more shots, but Chicago's played so well defensively. Good save by Knight. This is at the goal crease, and Shane Wright gets denied. 8:34 in the second. Looks like we're going to take a break. What a goal that we just had. They'll probably show that one again as this gets flipped out in front by Tyler Bertuzzi, Teuvo Teravainen right there. Tip it out of the air. It's a power play goal. 2-0 Chicago.
So that whole sequence by Matty Beniers, I don't know if you've ever seen this video, John, but have you seen the video? I don't know if it's from a movie or if it's a skit or it was like a celebrity game, but it's that video of the guy in the goal, playing goalkeeper, and every ball that he saves it with his face. That's the image I have with Matty Beniers.
Yes.
Albeit it's painful and I feel for the guy, but he's just taking puck after puck after puck on his body, and I'm like, stop, man.
Yeah, really.
Man, stop. I know. Lay on the body, give it over the team, but save some for yourself, good man.
Yeah, exactly. And then again, both of us felt for him there, but we both said in real time as well, that is one hell of a shift there for Matty Beniers. And when you see that type of effort from somebody, especially, again, I believe he's still only 22, 23, you know that he's giving everything that he's got on his ice, and the teammates appreciate that.
But do you see what I was telling you about the Blackhawks before the game started? This team, man, there was a question whether the Hawks would be able to recreate the offensive firepower that they saw from 2007 to, let's call it 2016 or 17. Maybe not exactly like that right now, where every player on their team is a scoring threat. But I will say this. If you're trying to find a weak spot for the Blackhawks right now,
I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, Ian, because I know Seattle struggles to score goals. There are teams still 9-5-5. I think they're playing much better than with Lambert than they probably should be. But you're exactly right. I know what you're getting at. Because when you got Taze, Kane, and Marion Hossa, that top line, they could be completely top heavy. But this team, you have that. You have the balance and depth. You got really young players that are going to continue to get better. They are, Ian, 4 or 5 years away even before their prime. And then you already have Spencer Knight now. That's a dream trade for them. You mentioned it alongside Ryan Donato. He didn't have to come back, but he did. He sees the writing on the wall. That definitely gives this team another punch. I don't see a weakness.
Yeah. Hey, John, I won't tell you the score. I'll just tell you the Red Wings still have no goals.
Oh, dear God. So at least you won't have to. You only got to play the Islanders one more time, I think. So hopefully, if I never have to see them again, that's okay. But let me give a shout out to Matthew Schaefer. Let him make Team Canada. He deserves it.
Yeah. Oh, the Rangers. Wow. Okay. First period, the Rangers are up on the Avalanche, 1-0. Power play goal by JT Miller.
JT Miller is someone that needs to score because he's looked pretty lethargic on the ice, all things considered. So we'll see if that continues. And we'll see if they get up for a primetime opponent because they're playing the best in the NHL. There's a power play for Seattle. Vince Dunn, shot up high. Hits Spencer Knight in the mask, goes all the way down. So it's the first power play for Seattle. Chicago Blackhawks started 1 for 2. I was about to say 0 for 2, if not for that unbelievable play set up by Bertuzzi and then scored by Tebow. Here is Chandler Stephenson off the drop from Matty Beniers. He is back out there, but I got to wonder if he feels it 100%. This is right at the glove of Knight on a flyby from Tolvanen. And we'll do it again with a $1:29 left to go in Seattle's first power play. 7:42 in the middle frame. Now, I thought about clicking on the NHL scoreboard, but I'm going to do it at the break just in case I scream, it's not picked up by the recorder. So 1:29 left to go on the power play. The way that Ian laughed at that, I know I'm about to look at some pain, but it's only 2 points. As Beniers gets taken down, he's sandwiching a Black Friday Mall phone booth now, trying to get this puck out. Tolvanen, excellent work as Cormier now pins it against the glass. Wyatt Kaiser has it as well. And now the ref says, you know what, we haven't moved the vulcanized rubber enough. We got to do it again. We'll get another stoppage at 7:21. Spencer Knight's only had to make 14 saves. Joey Decord 15 at 17. But honestly, both those goals that Decord gave up, he had no chance on. Connor Bedard, 3 shots, 13 shifts, just 1 giveaway, no plus minus or anything else in 9:19 of action. As Marchment has it picked up toward the right side. Marchment will be on the left side D. Here's a combination pass from Cat and Marchment. Let's it go. Knocked a stick out of the hand of Kaiser. And this is with the Kraken now. Here's a chance for the right side down. Here's a funnel feed out in front. Seattle trying to pick it up. Send it back down deep for Montour. Now Montour again off the spin and turn. This is a good pickup, but not out. Bounces off Berkeley Catton toward the right side dump. Berkeley, he gets taken down. Tolvanen tries to pry it loose. Jaden Schwartz turns it over. See about Tolvanen finally gets it down, but this will stay back where it was because this bounces near the player's bench. So I don't know if it went all the way outside yet. Usually it would be a close to neutral zone draw, but they just keep trying to throw it in the middle of the slot to the Kraken. And the Chicago Blackhawks get some stick in the lanes, and they're just reading everything easily. They're being too predictable with Seattle. 6:38 left to go on the second.
Hey, John, you know what? Look, I will tell you this because I have felt this pain from the Blues. The Red Wings are losing, but not for lack of trying. They have 25 shots on goal, but with 0 goals.
So Ilya Sorokin, my guess, is having himself one of his best games of the year.
Let me see. Yeah, Ilya Sorokin.
So Chandler Stephenson, I'm going to look at that score in about 6 minutes, and I'm going to wish I didn't. As we picked up here for Vince Dunn. Off the clear. Now Chandler Stephenson one more time up the gut. He will get around a couple Blackhawks. Matty Beniers takes a hit. There's this toward the right side for Eeli Tolvanen. Tolvanen now on his backhand. There's a sauce for Stephenson. Knocked out of the air. Chicago will get this one off the glass. Here's Nazar out of the box. Wrister stopped there by Decord at 6:06. All right, I can't wait anymore. Let's look. Dear God, it's happening again. 5-0. This is at LCA as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're.
And John, I hate to say it, but John Gibson's time may be coming to an end.
John Gibson has been more cold than hot, and that's me being kind. I think he's been borderline freezing at times. Cam Talbot's been very, very good this year for the Red Wings, but they need some more help. And off the backboards now, Bedard tried to stuff it in, and this is knocked away. Every time you see that Bertuzzi line on the ice, when Bedard's been mixed in or not, they've looked very dangerous. Winterton gets around Lavshinov, and that's hard to do. As Bertuzzi, from his own end, try to get it to Bedard, but it's cut off. Montour, a beautiful pivot off the pirouette. Send a back pass. This is right to Connor Bedard off a one-on-one. We'll see if he can split the D. A little bit of a stick handle there, but they'll back up enough to try to take it away from Connor. But he'll get it one more time. Number 98 sends it around the glass. 5:15 left. Slap pass. Bertuzzi Bedard. And this one's spot by a stick save by Decord. Sent toward the net. Connor picks it up. Nice bank pass. Lavshinov dances, but he danced himself out of the zone as we're underneath 5 minutes of the second period. This has been a really good game. I don't want to end right now. As it's picked up here, Montour. Now for Ty Cartier. Cartier now to the left side red line, flips it in. That's where Spencer Knight is. And from left to right go the Blackhawks. Shots this period are 12-5 for the Hawks. And they look really good in this game. Riker Evans trying to get around Donato, former Kraken teammate. As this is a pinball pass from 70. Good hit by Alexiak. Gets the rub out there. And this will be sent back down the ice. And the icing will be picked up against the Kraken. The Capitals have a 5-4 lead on the Canadiens. Again, Montreal is dealing with all sorts of injuries. Alex Newhook, I think, is going to be out for a couple of months. It looks like a poster board of goals in the second. Sonny Milano, Ethan Frank with a couple, Jacob Chychrun, Nick Suzuki, and Joe Veleno in the second as well. Mike Matheson, the only goal of the third, 5:37 left in that third period. If we get some time, I'll flip back over to that before it closes. But that would be big for the Red Wings if that result holds. See about Tolvanen. Take this one, D-to-D. Vlasic missed it. Renzel. And that one goes high. Just shooting practice, but they got to find the net here. Renzel off the bank. There's this off the drop pass now. Spin and turn Renzel. Leave here for Nazar. Nazar is Alexiak. Finally takes him off the puck. Lindgren now. Can't get it out. Shane Wright almost gives it up. Shane will get it back. He will spin and leave toward the defensive side. And the Kraken will have to start again at 3:35 left to go in this second. Still 2-0 lead for Chicago. Both their goals in this period. Matty Beniers, I'd like to see him get one. He certainly worked hard in this game, that's for sure. Mason Marchman back to Matty. Matty's only got 2 on the year, though. He needs more. Tip. This one goes wide. Picked up toward the left side. Eberle gets canceled off the puck. Grizzlick out there on the third line side for Jeff Blashill's squad. Bertuzzi in his own end. Always so good throughout that entire 200-foot game. As Vince Dunn. One for Doc. Here's Bertuzzi. Good shovel pass. A little blind for Bedard. Bedard, what a feather. Here's Cormier into the traffic, and this one goes harmlessly wide. Tipped out in front, all sorts of traffic. Diving play for Bertuzzi. Lucky he didn't call for the penalty here. as Mason Marchment. Vince Dunn joining off the rush. Here's Marchment. Dunn in too deep. Marchment gets canceled off. And Bedard, smart enough not to touch it. He just wants to get himself spaced on the left wing. He's got Lafferty with him, but the wrister is saved by DeCord right in the wing of the catching glove. We'll take a break.
It is still 1-0 Oilers versus the Lightning Machines. There is a chance that the game-winning goal could go to.
Do not say that. Do not say Trent Frederick GWG. That's like a free space on the bingo card that we know we don't have to account for, but I guess credit to him. Your Blues have gone to overtime, Ian.
Oh, my God. I'm starting to think that the Blues have... Unfortunately, the Blues are in a situation right now where even if the year goes to pot, they have nothing to trade. They've got too many guys locked into contracts with no trade clauses, by the way. And the guys they can trade are all young or not producing. So it's... I mean, maybe you could say they could try and trade Binnington, but he's been bad this year.
Right.
So they're kind of stuck.
We said it last year about them possibly being a playoff team and looking good again. You know, we had Colton Parayko last year that had an excellent year. But if this one, as you said, goes by the wayside, they might not have anything to trade. But if they end up getting the top 5 pick out of it, maybe that also wouldn't be so bad, question mark.
Well, that's if they keep losing. Because unfortunately, they have a team where, as of right now, they're good enough to not be terrible like the Calgary Flames, but they're bad enough to not be a threat to anyone in the playoffs or make the playoffs. So and when we get to the intermission, I'll tell you one of the main problems that they have, or rather one player that I've singled out.
So we'll definitely look forward to that, Ian, and I think I'll be calling some overtime hockey with you throughout the intermission because it certainly looks like we'll be able to get to that. We got 150 left to go in this second. Looks like the Blue Jackets and Maple Leafs might touch OT as well. I'm still monitoring Blues and Flyers if that goes across. We got a minute 40 left to go in this game, and then I'll make the switch. This is a rolling puck off the Blackhawks stick, picked up by DeCord. Lindgren got to be careful here. Takes an extra pivot. Now Chandler Stephenson off the combination pass. Stephenson. This is a defensive play by Cormier. Able to get this one down the ice here for the Blackhawks. I've been very impressed with their game so far. Cormier enters off sides. 1:16 left to go in this middle frame. So at least the Red Wings only have 5 more minutes in this third before they don't have to think about their game again. As Ian mentioned, it's still a 1-0 lead for the Rangers over the Avs. They're trying to improve on their road record. They just took a loss against VGK. VGK and Mammoth are about to be scoreless at the end of 1 if it holds in 2:31. Stars and Canucks will get going in a half hour. Same for Sens and Ducks. Same for Kings and Sharks. So we will have some late games to talk about as well. Here is a neutral zone draw. This one won by the Kraken. Here for Jordan Eberle, trying to get a stick on it. A rolling pass. We'll go to Joey DeCord. Shovel it toward the right side. 60 seconds left to go. In this second frame, Riker Evans and off the rush now. Mason Marchment. One more touch pass. Frank Nazar cancels it off. Couldn't get it to Matty Beniers. Alexiak through the point. This one goes wide. And now the Blackhawks will take this one from left to right. Wyatt Kaiser. Get his pass across the center ice. That looked like it might hit Mazer up high of the stick, but no call. He was able to shovel that one down. Teuvo Teravainen now. He gets taken down off a tackle. And Riker Evans has it. 26 seconds left in the middle frame. And so he'll shovel it in. Spencer Knight hasn't had much to do in this second period, although he turns it over. Mason Marchman tried to throw it out in front. Spin around for Jordan Eberle. And that one goes just wide. Here's another feed out in front. That's where the Blackhawks are. Down to 10. They got time for one more rush. Connor Bedard sends it down deep. Joy DeCourt goes to play it. Loses it behind the net. Down to 2. And the Blackhawks going to run out of time after 2. They lead by a pair. So let's go to the overtime. It is the Blues and Flyers still at 2. The Canadians now down 6-4, so that does help the Wings. I will take that. Let's go Blues Flyers, and then we will flip across to the Leafs if we still have time for that. $1:20 left in the OT as I'm seeing the update here. Kyrou got robbed in toward the right side of the post by Dan Vladar, former Calgary Flame. Didn't think I'd be calling his name. And Joel Hofer, he's having himself a little bit of skate in these highlights. As this is an offensive zone draw. Braden Shen. We flip back down to the left side inboard. It's chopped this overtime period of 3-1 for St. Louis. It's a 2-on-1. They're on the rush. Scores! Philadelphia gets the extra point. Sorry, Ian.
I'm used to it at this point. But what I was going to tell you earlier, the player that I've more or less been very critical of on the Blues is one Pavel Buchnevich. John. In 2024, Pavel Buchnevich signed a 6-year, $48 million contract extension. This season, he is not living up to his contract. In fact, through 20 games as an $8 million man, he has 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points, and a plus-minus of -11.
Oh, boy. That Pavel Buchnevich is so much better than that. He's having a brutal year.
And I don't know if he's injured or if he's playing through injury or what, but dear Lord, he's been silent.
I'm looking at this right now. We're going to get back into it, Ian, but you go ahead. It's overtime between the Columbus Blue Jackets and Toronto Maple Leafs. It's a 2-on-1 for the Leafs. Gets canceled off here. 3:10 left in the OT should be needed. The Flyers pick up the extra point against the Blues. We got some bonus hockey here in this intermission. Ken Johnson, former U of M man, trying to get around Easton Cowan. And we will start again as it goes to Ivan Provorov. So Ken Johnson works his way to the bench. This is a win that Toronto really has to have at Scotiabank here. Sillinger finds the entry here for CBJ. Rister, this one fought off and saved. Sillinger tries to get a retrieval, and he's beating a bunch of Leafs to the puck. Now John Tavares on the overtime side. We'll take this one left to right. This will be a glide. Opportunity tip just wide for Tavares back in behind the net. He was looking for a goal. He's out there with Willie Nylander. And this will be picked up here for Morgan Riley. This will be sent back here for William Nylander. Shot board 29-28. This game tied at dose in the OT. See who gets the extra point. Toronto Maple Leafs just trying to get back into the playoff hunt. I know everybody tied up in that Eastern Conference, but CBJ really wants these points as well. That's why it's so fun to watch. Picked up now on the backhand. Here is Marchenko. This will be recollected to Zach Werenski. And Werenski now will pull back as it's going to release the course for Booze. Werenski now with Kirill Marchenko. And off the drop, here's Kirill. Working his way across the Maple Leafs logo and through neutral. Off the drop for Zach. Zach to the net. Good stop there with a stick blade for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I believe that is Stolarz playing in the net right now. I'll have to get confirmation in a moment. Morgan Riley's line still out there. Riley finally takes his change for Craig Berube's squad. We got about 1:15 left in this overtime should we need it all. This will be dropped for OEL. 1:10 left to go. Max Domi now gets in on the change. OEL off the drop pass. Find an entry for Nick Robertson. Nick. Leave it here for OEL. Toward the right side is Domi. Crisscross. Blue line side. Domi shoots to the traffic. He wanted a deflection there for Nick. As this one is battled by Sean Monahan. Domi. Here's a sauce pass. This is picked off. And a Fantilli on the rush. Fantilli on the break. Oh, he scores! Lifts it through the 5-hole. Blue Jackets win.
Well, by the way, the goalie is Joseph Wool.
Joseph Wall makes his debut today, and he lost.
And the Blue Jackets continue to rack up wins and points. Fellas, keep doing what you're doing.
Yes.
I believe in you.
We're all pulling for you. Everybody in the NHL is pulling for the Blue Jackets. I know people are pulling for the Sabres, probably can't do it, but there's still everybody on there. And holy cow. I said 6-4. It's 8-4 Capitals. They're going to beat the Canadians. They scored 3 in the third.
Well, okay. And Ovechkin has a hat trick.
Man, if he's not careful for Alex Ovechkin, I know it might be his last year. If he's not careful, if he wants to play for a couple more years, he might fight for number 1,000.
You know what? Honestly, I think he still has a couple years left on his contract. I'm not sure. If he really wants to, and they're gonna supplement him with this kind of young talent, I think he will. And he'll just, every year he'll just come out on power plays and say,
You don't need to do much else if you're Obi.
no. And of the Avalanche tie-in before the end of the first period, it's 1-1 Rangers versus Avalanche.
I usually don't swear. Maybe I'll turn the recorder off for this one, but I'll just say that for the Rangers, that's your ass. I think it's over. Get the sticks ready.
Yep, and John, I'm not going to say it.
I can pause. You could say it.
No. What? No, but it's not a curse word.
Okay.
Oilers Lightning still won.
Oh, God. That's going to be all over my wall. I'm going to be like, I'll be in the fetal position. Trent Frederick got a game winner. I can't believe it.
Oh, my God. You know what? During the third period, I'm going to watch the rest of that game. And if the Blackhawks, you continue covering continue covering the Blackhawks and the Kraken. I'm going to watch and see if anybody will score a goal besides Trent Frederick.
So who's injured here for the Lightning? Oh, boy. Victor Hedman and Ryan McDonough, at least for sure, and Eric Chernak. So their defensive structure, at least for the Bolts, has to look completely different. I'm going to see if I can pull up their live box just to see what they're rolling with. I don't even know how to say this name, number 51. Charlie Edward Daw, number 51. That is all sort of hyphenate. You got J.J. Moser, Emil Lilleberg, and Steven Santini with Declan Carlisle on the DN for the Lightning. And for everyone out there, I just say, who? My goodness.
Yeah. They stood.
He's 27. I just checked his age. What about Declan? Declan is actually from Heartland, Michigan. That's pretty cool. Declan Carlisle. Let's see if I can see Steven Santini. He's 30 years of age. So, yeah, they are really scraping on the AHL side. Vasilevsky's only stopped 19 of 20. I guess you can't stop Trent Frederick. But Calvin Pickard, 27 of 27. And if the Edmonton Oilers win the game, I mean, that's the most important thing. But I will say this, 2 points are 2 points, Ian, and that is the most important. But I also would even be concerned in a win that you could only score 1 goal against the Lightning with that defensive rotation. Right?
When your only known defenseman is Andre Vasilevsky.
Right.
That is your most noteworthy and probably your best defender is your goalie in this game.
Yeah, I was going to, because I agree with you. I was going to go with your name if you wanted to say maybe Darren Radish or J.J. Moser, but they're third pairing defensemen at best, and everyone else are just affiliates. You have Curtis Douglas. Let me see where he is at. So he was the 4th round pick in 2018. He's 25. You got a lot of guys here on this Lightning team, Dominic James included, who I've never heard of. And I follow a lot of NHL, maybe a little bit less nowadays from you and Alec. But, I mean, this is a beat-up Lightning team, and it's still 1-0 just halfway through the third. Again, Ian's going to give us any other live updates. But we are 10 minutes away from a Trent Frederick GWG.
Oh, it's terrible. Someone else score, please.
The Panthers, this is big for them. I know it's only 1-0, but they get 2 points. Sam Reinhart from Gustav Forsling. Sergei Bobrovsky stops all 31. Jake Allen was excellent, but it was 23 of 24 in the loss. Now, New Jersey started out great, but they got that injury to Jack Hughes and everything else. New Jersey might be in a little bit of trouble right now.
Yeah. By the way, I have a little bit of MLB news because it deals with a former Detroit Tiger.
Sure.
The Royals have finalized. The Royals are bringing in Alex Lang on a 1-year deal.
Alex Lang has been up and down for Detroit. Really didn't get a chance to play much last year. If you get the Alex Lang from 2.5 seasons ago, Alec, you are getting a primetime closer that loves to throw the curveball. But if you're getting one from last year, you might need to poke your eyes out.
Look, we dealt with Sandlong and Chris Schreck. If Alex Lang is somehow worse than those two pitchers, it might. You will see multiple Royals fans picking their eyes out.
I can't imagine that you had to pay Alex Lang that much money.
I think it was like $2 million. I think maybe.
Let me see if I can find any more other news. I know it was a player option. I didn't get a chance to talk about this, but since the recorder's on, I was surprised whether or not player option or not, but Gleyber Torres is coming back to Detroit when I really thought he was going to be gone. Kyle Tucker, Kyle Schwarber still available, according to Jeff Passan. Bo Bichette still the same way. You kind of wonder, and I know Ian's already going to say this and Alec covered it, but maybe the Blue Jays had their chance and they missed it because they were right there.
Yeah. close. They were as close as you could possibly get, and oh my lord.
So Eugenio Suarez, Ha-Seong Kim, Jorge Polanco, Ryan O'Hearn, JT Realmuto. There's still some names that are there. Short-term bets. He's got Harrison Bader, Marcelo Zuna, Mike Yastrzemski, Willie Castro, Cedric Mullins, Paul Goldschmidt. And if you really want, again, this is not for defense at all, but if you really want to lock in your bet and make sure you get contact, Lisa Rise. I don't know what he'll still command, but he really never strikes out at all and is going to hit for a high average. He's just going to get you base hits.
Will someone on the Lightning please score?
We're just going to do this so we both laugh. I mean, the Oilers need this. They need this way more than the Lightning do. I find it really hard to believe that Calvin Pickard's going to go the whole way and get a shutout. But he might.
Sorelli, Hagel, Cooch.
Right. You still got those guys there.
Somebody, please put the puck in the net.
The Kings, again, I mentioned this, are 9-2-2 away from home ice. That's where they'll be in the Shark Tank. Honestly, probably going to watch that game a little bit after this one's done. And I don't want to root against Ken Holland, but yes, I do. I don't want to lie. I hope the Sharks continue to have some fun. They look to be pretty good to watch.
Yeah. The Sharks are finally putting a little something together. I don't. Just the guys they have for veterans, it's not the same caliber as the Blackhawks.
That was a great point that you made because I was going to say. Go ahead.
I'll say that because the Sharks, while he's a guy who'll throw the body around, let's be real, Ryan Reeves is not the kind of veteran you want to have to rely on.
No, he's not going to do anything on the ice.
He's a bruiser, and he's an old bruiser. And don't get me wrong, he's probably a great locker room guy, but in terms of official scoring, like a Tyler Bertuzzi or Ryan Donato, yeah, no, I don't know who they have that you can classify for that. The best thing I can say about the Sharks right now is their young talent is starting to emerge, and they don't have Cody CC on their defense anymore.
Yeah. Again, we talk about it all night throughout the teams that are starting to percolate in the NHL. Whether you want to call it parity or something else, I think the NHL at this point is in a really good spot. The races have been interesting. I am refreshing the NHL standings here. So the Red Wings, with that bludgeoning, are at 21 games played, but not even on the higher end. They sit first in the Atlantic with 25 points. The Panthers moved to third now with 23rd in the logjam. Pittsburgh Penguins in the wild card with the Capitals at 24, and the Blue Jackets with their win are just outside. The Canadiens now, they've been in first through the entire part of this season. They've finally fallen out of a playoff spot at 23 points, but again, just 1 point out. As Ian and I mentioned, everything is a logjam. It's too close to call. With the standings today, though, officially, the Sabres are now 6 points out, which is the team that's up the most. We will update this as we go across again. And then I have to remind myself one more time that once we get a stoppage, that I finally go get some water as it sits to the start of the third period. Now, Ian's going to monitor, just for my own sanity, whether or not Trent Frederick gets the GWG. That sits at 7:08 of the third. Edmonton's still up 1-0. And let's get underneath this third period as I pull up my rosters one more time. Appreciate you guys joining me, Ian as well throughout. I know he's been messaging across. I messaged Alec and Ian a little bit as I've been able to. I got one more Sharks game on Saturday. Then they get the Thanksgiving break off, and then I have a doubleheader Friday and Saturday. After that, I think it will start to slow down as far as streams. And as far as next week when I will come back on here because I will have that part of the NHL off, I will have an update for you guys as far as alongside my league, as well as covering games in general. As we get another stoppage here, two times to start at 16 seconds.
Chicago at 13. Chicago will play the rest of the game without former Kraken Andre Burakovsky.
So Burakovsky still out. The shot board officially did not update that. 21-15 after 2. 11-9 hits, not very physical. Face-offs about dead even. 17-16. Blackhawks 1 for 2 on the power play. Kraken 0 for 1. There's Sam Renzel. We'll put this one down deep. Recollected from Montour for a moment. Joey DeCord will leave it as this is picked up off the long pass, trying to find Eberle. And this will be Spencer Knight. Cancel it off for Frank Nazar. Here's a long outstretched pass. Seattle try to pick it up. As this will be recollected here for Adam Larson. Larson now off the lead. Here's Wyatt Kaiser. A little bit too far for Connor Bedard, but he'll slow up. And here's a glorious sauce pass right out of the air. Kaiser tried to join the rush. He was waiting for Bedard to get there, but he ran out of time. As it's 18:50 left in the third. Picked up on the backhand, Jaden Schwartz. Now Larson gets it sticked away by Bertuzzi. Here is Bedard. He tries to jump over his man, but he gets canceled off the puck. As this is hand grenaded down, but not far enough for icing. That's where Artem Levshinov is. Levshinov will spin. Again, he's just 20 years of age. And alongside with Connor Bedard and Wyatt Kaiser has it. Long outstretch of changes here for Jeff Blashill's squad as Blackhawks still sit with a 2-0 lead. This one flipped into Joey DeCord. Can't do much for that save percentage or anything else if you can't score if you're Seattle. As this one's bounced a little bit away from Freddie Gaudreau. Picked up on the backhand now. Ty Cartier lost it. Frederick tries to pick it back up. As this is sent back down deep. There's a race for it. Berkeley Catton. Try to get a lead for Shane Wright. Find Berkeley off the hot pass. That will work out. He gets pinned against the glass, and so does Shane. Excellent work there for Wyatt Kaiser. As this will be recollected for a moment by Gaudreau, but then it's battled in the corner. Chicago's doing a great job of just killing time throughout this game, winning puck battles. As Alexiak tries to go D-to-D, race across the right side wall, and a penalty hand is in the air. We'll see who it's going to be on. It's a hook. I'm going to go back to the Blackhawks feed because I'm starting to have that jump on the Kraken side. Looks like Mikheyev gets a hook on Riker Evans from what I'm seeing. So Murphy, Nazar, Vlasic out there as well. It's a power play for Seattle. It's their second. About 17-15 left to go in the third. Just one chance on their power play. This is the second, but they only had 2 shots. Here's a nice back skate for Vince Dunn. He'll leave it across for Eberle. Eberle on the right side dot. Now for Tolvanen. Take it from left to right. Chance for Beniers. Work his way in behind the net on his forehand. Now to Tolvanen. D-to-D, Vince Dunn. Waiting now across is Tolvanen. That pass goes harmlessly out. Now to Joey DeCord. Way out of his goal crease. Push it ahead. Eberle stays on side. Chandler, Stephenson, a feed out in front. Canceled off by Spencer Knight. Close the 5-hole. Seattle, about a minute left to go in their second power play. Tolvanen. There's a bouncing pass to Vince Dunn. Tolvanen, Eberle. This will be a spin and turn now for Chandler Stephenson. Now for Eberle. Back to Vince Dunn near the right side dot is Jordan Stephenson. One-timer, fanned on it. Did Seattle. And this is just outside the zone. Matty Beniers got canceled off the puck. And this will be flipped back down. Joey DeCord. Everybody taking a change for Lane Lambert's squad. As this is picked up now for Seattle. Time for one more rush at least. As it's Shane Wright toward the right side boards. Kaiser takes him off the puck, and then Chicago able to send this one down the ice. Teuvo Teravainen gives chase. And they'll peel off and get started again there on the back skate. And here comes Seattle. 10 seconds left to go on their power play. Fine there for Jaden Schwartz. Now to Shane Wright. He'll spin toward the right side dot. Chicago just funneling it in toward the right side red line, not giving Seattle space, but they're really not creating any different chances. Mikheyev out of the box from the hook. Almost tried to get the steal. 15-15 left to go in the third. Chicago 1 for 2 on the power play. Seattle now 0 for 2. As no icing. Sam Lafferty picked this one up now. Matt Grzelcyk try to get this one. Recollected now. Freddie Gaudreau, Connor Bedard, and his grill trying to pin this against the wall. Again, Chicago's done that many times, try to bleed this clock out. One-timer, Montour deflected it in. Seattle has scored. And no chance for Spencer Knight to be able to see it. And it's a one-goal game. So they're trying to see who this goal is going to be for. Let's see if I flip this one back. But they might give it to Ty Cartier. I'll see when that updates. 2-1 is the score now. As it's 14:45 left to go in the third, as this will be flipped back down. That's where Vince Dunn is. Matty Beniers. He will lose it for a moment. Mason Marchman able to get this one down. This game has been nip and tuck, and that was a break that Seattle really needed because they haven't manufactured much. As Alec Vlasic will flip this one back down the ice. Matty Beniers pick up a rolling puck. Good cancel off for Tyler Bertuzzi. He has been one of these stars of the game, that's for sure. As Sam Lafferty, this one's cleared down, and Chicago's iced it against themselves. Shot board 21-17 in favor of the Hawks, but they've just conceded. So I'm looking at this now. Montour lets a rolling puck go. This bounces off the stick blade of Lindgren, and then maybe off the body of Cartier and in. Yeah, it went off two bodies, off Lindgren's stick and Cartier's knee, and it went past Spencer Knight. They're trying to get the official word still as this one gets sent back down, but that's what I've seen toward my four eyes when I got the second look at it. Tolvanen, his back pass. It'll be a lead for Jaden Schwartz. Walk-in, good save. Chandler Stephenson couldn't lift. It almost was a 2-2 game. As it's picked up now, Jaden Schwartz gets the steal. Here's a one-timer. That one bounced off the mask of Spencer Knight toward the right side, and now Wyatt Kaiser will send this one down the ice. A couple times they had to put the voice registry up high, as this game has been pretty exciting. We will finally get a whistle at 13:35. And I believe it is a break, so I'm going to go get myself a bottle of water and come right back. It's a 2-1 game.
Our service now connects every corner of your business with AI to work for you. Every corner, Nick. So, hey, good job. Okay? Focus on the people you trust. Acting in IT is using AI agents to do small stuff so she can work with big stuff. AI helps reduce customer problems before their problems. Oh, so we all work better together. Our work here is done.
All right.
No, go to Kakko, get a quote, and you could save $900 with your home. Look at that, free. What? We do. I'm going. It feels good to see support. It feels good to get that.
Second goal of the season. First NHL point.
So, John,
Yes, sir.
we have a lightning goal.
Thank God. I don't normally say that.
For his first of the season, Nick Paul.
Nicholas Paul only has one. Huh? I wouldn't have thought that. If we get
Show that the Lightning have really pulled off this season. Mostly because, well, they have no static defense.
And now I would think with a 3-on-3 that would have to favor the Oilers. And again, if this goes as a result, it continues, the Oilers would still only have 4 regulation wins. So they're about a 108 away from that going away.
Oh my Lord.
Berkeley Catton's chance. So Fisker Molgar gets his first career NHL point. I will let you know whether or not that was assisted or not. As once we get another stoppage, I'll recollect myself as Jamie Alexiak now for Berkeley Catton finds the entry. Shane Wright. This gets deflected right in the middle of the slot here. Bertuzzi lost it off of a hit. Good bump by Shane Wright. Bertuzzi falls down, and now Berkeley Catton try to pick it up. Seattle really trying to push in this third period. Scores! It's off the board in. It was tipped, and we are tied. Wow, this game has really changed. Shane Wright scores. I did not see this coming at all. I mean, the way that the Blackhawks have been able to play throughout this game, you just lost one battle in the D zone. Shane Wright able to get it. Berkeley Cat on the left side red line. It goes toward the point. Shot deflected again from Riker Evans. And as Riker Evans lets it go, Shane Wright hits it off the tip of his blade. 2 deflections. And Spencer Knight couldn't stop either one. So we got a game on our hands, and the Oilers and Lightning go to OT. Now, Ian, if you're going to still stick with me throughout this game, give me your updates as far as the Oilers Lightning. So I'll put Ian on that duty and watch, and then I'll cover the rest of this. Let me look at the box here for that Oilers Lightning game as again we get set up for OT. Trent Frederick. He's not on game-winning goal watch unless he gets something extra. It's Nick Paul from J.J. Moser and Emil Lilleberg. Vasilevsky, 21 of 22. Calvin Pickard, 33 of 34. And if they don't get that extra point, Edmonton will have completely wasted his effort, in my opinion. As it's 12:15 left to go in the third. It's a brand new game now. A couple deflections here for the Kraken. Ties this game at 2-2. And Colton Dock pushed this one ahead now for Rinzel. Again, he was part of the USA development team, and they're getting a piece of the gold medal not too long ago. This will be sent back down away from Sweden. They're going to have that on Opal Sports Guy, and then a couple others stepping alongside. That wasn't World Juniors when Tage Thompson got the game winner. 11:45 left to go in this third. We will be calling Olympic action this year And I should be free for that alongside Alec Nava, or if not, I'll be calling alongside Ian. I'm sure he'll join in. But we're going to try to get as many people as I can get in the broadcast booth for that, because I'm just looking forward to it when that gets to Italy. As we get an icing, Seattle's going to win the hybrid ice. And again, a 2-2 game, a couple deflection goals. Let me pull up the box officially here for Seattle. It's Ty Cartier from Fisker Mulligard, who is making his second-round debut, and Brandon Montour, and then Shane Wright, his fifth of the year from Riker Evans at 5:09 and 7:13. Spencer Knight, otherwise would be perfect, 19 of 21. And Joey DeCord's got the same numbers. They've just shifted that assist from Riker Evans and Berkeley Catton on Shane Wright's goal. So that is very up to date. Be another icing against the Blackhawks. The shot board is even now, and so is the scoreboard as we sit at 11:22 of the third. So as we look at the scoreboard here, Rangers lead 2-1 on the Avs. They're on the road, where they only have 2 losses. They're 9-2-1. The Avalanche do not have a regulation loss at home this year. Golden Knights up 2-0 on the Mammoth. And here's a useless stat of the day for Mr. Ian Genge. A time of the ice leaders, you know, it was McDavid and Draisaitl 1 and 2 in the NHL. Do you know who leads with the third most ice time in the NHL, Mr. Genge? I will give you a hint.
Is it Jack Eichel?
Jack Eichel would be a good guess, but let me give you a hint. It's in the game of the Stars and the Canucks.
Are we looking at a Brock Besser?
We are looking at Evander Kane. Third most ice time in the NHL. That probably tells you why the Canucks are in trouble, correct?
Wow.
Yeah, that was definitely a wow when I heard that one the other day. It is true, as it's picked up here with Connor Bedard for a moment. I didn't want to leave Ian Genge hanging in the wind, but that's a tough call. And again, that's why the Canucks are sitting at 9-10-2. And you never know what's going to happen alongside Quinn Hughes. I think when that contract's done, if I have to guess, Ian, he's on his way out.
Oh, the Lightning taking it off.
Oh my God. Who scored?
I think it might have, hang on, it was someone wearing someone in the 50s. It was, I'm trying to see the number.
Kraken have it now. We're going to give you an update here as soon as we get a stoppage. As this one sent back down, but the Oilers had a 1-0 lead for the longest time. Lightning steal it. Again, the Oilers pick up 1 point, but still 4 regulation wins. That is absolutely brutal if you're Edmonton. And I know what they're going to say. Get to January, it all turns around. And they've done that over the last 4 seasons. But how many times are you going to depend on that is my question.
Vasilevsky just made 1, 2, 3 of the most impossible saves. And the winning snipe come from Jake Gensel.
There we go. That's a name. So I can't wait to see the highlights there. The big cat coming up large and Jake Gensel, the man to get the job done. The Oilers can't play with their food. I mean, when you sit 1-0, Ian, you were watching it the whole way across as we picked it back up late. It's only 1. You're only asking the Lightning to get 1 to tie it, and there you go. It goes away. Brandon Montour, about 9 minutes left to go in this third. It's a 2-2 game between Seattle and Chicago. Tolvanen gets hit, loses his stick. Chandler Stephenson gets the retrieval. Back-to-back goals in the second for Chicago. Back-to-back goals in the third for the Blackhawks. And unbelievably, the shot board this period beats 8-0 Seattle. So Chicago doesn't even have one yet. They're almost 12 minutes expired in the period. As Sam Renzel Try to get it now for Teuvo Teravainen. Seattle, excellent job to throw this one down deep. Ozone time, they lead that now, 10:50 to 10 minutes for the Kraken. Montour, he's pinched in deep. Frank Nazar, really got to get this one the other way. If you're Chicago, got to record a shot on goal here. Nazar's pass gets the trailer. This deflected, pushed a Kraken player into the net at the cord. So they're going to be down a guy off the rush. And Seattle and Lambert squad know that. So they go for the back pass. Start this one again at the United Center. It's a 2-2 game. It's been a good one. Glad to be able to cover this. We had a good hockey night. A lot of overtime, a lot of spectacular stuff. And for a couple of our own teams, a couple painful ones. But at least for the Red Wings, wasn't even competitive. So didn't have to think about that. Matty Beniers. Now for Rinzel. He will walk away from it. It was Eberle, so we'll just let him get the pass across. And this will go all the way back for Wyatt Kaiser. Start again off the long lift. Picked up off the chop is Adam Larson in Seattle as Eberle was offsides. Start again for Vlasic. This will be flipped back down. Now, the one thing this game has not been, that's physical. As it's 7:25 in the third. Only about 20 hits to tell you about. I think I might be overstating that by 3 or 4. Levchinov, one more in his own end. 7:10 left in the third. Connor Bedard gets away from a hit and flips this one down. The one thing I noticed for Connor Bedard as well, from 18 to 20, not taking as many hits. You're just making the right play and skating when you can. And that's what you love to see. And that's what you learn when you get more experience in the NHL. Eeli Mikheyev on his backhand safely gained the blue line, and Joey DeCord's pass, able to get it outside the zone. Riker Evans take it through center here for Ryan Winterton. Gets some fourth line from the Coachella Valley Firebirds side, their affiliate. Donato. And toward the right side of the glass, coughs it up for a moment. Colton Dock then turns it over, gets it back, aims the red line and throws it in. Joey DeCord, brush it toward the left side dot. Winterton probably on the edge of his shift. And Freddie Gaudreau can't find Alex Vlasic as it's picked up here toward the right side of the wall. Trying to see a number on that for the Blackhawks, but Catton finally gets his steal. As this is jumped out of the air by Vlasic, good keeping at the line. See if they can get something going here. Oliver Moore was the one that lost the puck, number 11. Toward the left side red line now. That's where Seattle changes it and throws it in. Same thing for Chicago and Jeff Blashill's squad as Moore in his own end. Gain the red line to the right side blue. Flip it in toward DeCord. He jumps on it like a cat, plays it up now, and that's where Seattle can go left to right in their road whites in the mix of the black on the legs. It's the home reds for the Blackhawks and the black part of the right side of the striping on the pant legs. This is taken up by Chandler Stephenson out of the air. Now the Hawks still don't have a shot on goal in this period as it's picked up with 5:20 left in the third. It's a 2-2 game now. Seattle trying to score again. Jaden Schwartz off the outside of the cage. It does not hit the net. Schwartz gets the recollect. Send this one back down deep. Now bounces away from Kaiser. Seattle has it. Dangerous. And this is Montour. Send down deep now again. Eeli Tolvanen. Jaden Schwartz, right side. Dot. Sauce pass. One-timer deflected. Seattle trying to pick it up. Bounces off some bodies and Chandler Stephenson. Rinzel and Kaiser been out there for over 1:10. Rimmed around the end boards now for Montour. Right side blue line. Try to give and go for Brandon. Chicago is pretty tired now. They've been stuck in their own zone. Seattle coughs it up. Here's a break. It's Bedard. Oh, he gets lifted at the last moment. I thought he was going to do something special. 4:20 left to go in the third. Connor Bedard had a breakaway. Couldn't get a shot. This will be dropped the other way. Canceled off 5-hole by Spencer Knight. And we get a whistle. 4:16 in the third. We might get a penalty against the Hawks from what I'm hearing from the United Center crowd. But admittedly, I got to look at the board. But it looks like the Blackhawks are going to the box. Connor Bedard on a breakaway is something I was waiting for. Ryan Lindgren got a hook in on his stick and maybe his legs as well. That could have been called against the legs. That second one, stick to stick, was not. We'll take a break.
So, John, how have you been feeling about the Pistons?
You know what? The unfortunate part for me, like I told you and Alec, again, I cannot watch any of the local games here unless I go to my parents' house. All I can do is follow along or copy, like record it late and watch it late. But they've been pretty damn good. They look good.
Yeah.
Cade continues to get better. I'm still wondering after the betting charges, admittedly, Ian, that Malik Beasley, I guess, was cleared from, if he comes back into the roster as well. I like the additions. You were with me when I did the State of the Union address during the summer when they added Karis LeVert and Duncan Robinson. They've been good, but I mean, Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham are a 1A, 1B wrecking crew.
Oh, yeah. Man, again, JB Bickerstaff, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I loved the signing when they got him. I mean, it changes a lot of things. And if you're Cleveland, look, I understand it worked out and alongside Kenny Atkinson, but JB Bickerstaff was not the problem. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself either, because I'll tell you right now, if the Pistons go to the finals, they'd still lose to the Oklahoma City Thunder, but I'd be glad to see them get there. So Connor Bedard is the one that's going to get called for an unsportsmanlike, but I actually think alongside Ian, he's been following me along in this game. Ryan Lindgren hooked him on the legs. That was not called, and Bedard was pretty angry about it. He should have been. I think that was the wrong call. But he gets busted for the unsportsmanlike, and now Chicago's in the midst of giving up 3 straight, maybe. Here's Tolvanen toward the right side, down for Montour crisscross. 3:35 left to go in the third, and a 2-2 tie. Tolvanen. Now from Dunn, Stephenson. It's Eberle collect near the left bumper. Looking for a shooting lane is Lane Lambert's squad. Pass for Beniers. That one hit the glass. Goes high as only Tolvanen will recollect. Chance now Eberle. Toward the right side, Dunn lets it go. More of a wounded duck, but that did hit Spencer Knight and he cleared down the ice. Didn't get everything he wanted on it. And Seattle in danger of going 0 for 3 on the power play. Chicago 1 for 2 as Joey DeCord off the lead back. And a little miscommunication behind the net of Seattle, but they'll start again slowly. Catton, Marshman, Schwartz, Evans, and Montour is the power play unit right now. When Jared McCann comes back, that's certainly going to give them more firepower. They really need him. As it's recollected by Mason Marchment. Got traffic in front of the net for Schwartz, but they don't take it. Here is Montour in tight. That one goes high. Picked up now on the backhand. Seattle trying to keep it in. They'll just shovel it into the corner. That's where Mason Marchment is, near the left dot. D to D it goes. 10 seconds on the power play. Seattle scored 2 straight in the third after Chicago scored 2 straight in the second. Pass across, scores! It's a lead. Jaden Schwartz gets a tap in right in front of the net. Seattle scored 3 straight.
Wow.
This is crazy town here. And then sportsmanlike against Connor Bedard ends up being converted in the final 2 seconds of the third period. Now Jaden Schwartz is right in front of the crease, and he gets around the defense. I mean, he's just got step for step. He got his blade on the ice, gets past Kaiser, puts it in. The only thing unfortunate, it's not even just the loss of potentially 2 points here, is I believe now if it's updated, Chicago only has 2 shots in this third period. They were giving nothing to Seattle in the first 40. And I kind of wonder if you're Jeff Blashill, if you're just going to take a TO here. as he's telling his guys to come over here. He keeps giving the signal and got a smile on his face to the referee. And now he's giving some words to the referee. So we'll see. He's usually mild-mannered, but that's what I'm seeing right now on his face. But he certainly had something to say to the Zebras. They're going to call timeout. We're going to see if they're going to challenge here, I bet.
I don't know if there's anything to challenge, though.
I don't think so, Ian. I'm looking right now with Jaden Schwartz. Here's my live look. He backed off, never touched Knight. And I didn't see him touch Knight as he put the puck in. I didn't see anything to challenge on that look, Ian.
Yeah, I think he's just doing this to give his guys time to recoup. I don't think he's going to challenge.
No, because I think if he looks at it now, I think you're right. I think the recoup makes sense. But if you're looking at it now, I see him waving his head no. If they challenge this, it'd be foolish because they'd be taking a penalty.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to give you the update here. I know it's not across the board yet because it's not finalized. But if we refresh this and Seattle does pick up 2 points, they'd be at 25. That puts them back into a wild card spot. I believe that will either move Chicago to 2 or move Minnesota out, depending on where that is. Right now, they got more regulation wins, so I think they just switch spots. Seattle goes to 1 and Chicago go to 2. Once we get that update, if this holds. 2 minutes left. As we get another whistle, and one of the linesmen gets wiped out. That's what I saw as we look back on the TV side. But 2 minutes left here for Chicago. They've got to press, and Spencer Knight's going to have to leave the goal crease. Now, if you would have told me after a 2-0 lead after 2 for Chicago, I would have certainly said they would have held it. Maybe Seattle scores 1. But they just haven't had any activity in this last third. And I guess that's good on Wayne Lambert's squad. And again, it's another one of those things I told Ian earlier. They're missing him as a member of the Leafs because they certainly are a much better defensive team. So 1:40 left to go in this third. This is in Chicago's defensive end, so Knight can't leave just yet. And now Teuvo Teravainen. Tyler Bertuzzi. Here's the camera shot. There goes Spencer Knight. 90 seconds left to go in the third. The Kraken might steal 2 points here. This is picked up across the wall, and this is not kept in at the blue line. So here is Chicago. Off the long outstretched pass. $1:15 left to go. DeCord spins it slowly behind his own net, coughs it up, though. Chicago's got to make something happen here. Teuvo Teravainen. Now for Frank Nazar. This is toward the left side red line. Chicago. Pass to the right side. What a block by Cartier. He's already dropped his stick. He's looking like Matty Beniers. He's trying to get one now. Here from Ryan Winterton. Here's a shove check. Takes Seattle. Be able to clear that one down the ice. Now Lindgren really heard that was Cartier and Lindgren who got bit there on that shot block. A couple sacrificial ones. I believe that was Lindgren. Yes, it was on the instep of escape. But between that and Matty Beniers, he blocked the Bedard shot that you knew that would hurt. Hit him right in an open hand. Holy cow. So sacrificial defense there. This game has ended up being excellent. And we'll see what we'll get. We'll have to redo this offensive zone draw. So we called some OT games. I know we have some late ones going across. This is 42 seconds in the balance. This is fought off at the net. The cord makes the save, stands tall, right at 40 seconds. At Bertuzzi on the doorstep. Stars and Canucks tied at dose. 4 minutes left in the first. Golden Knights Mammoth. VGK's got a 2-1 lead. Rangers still up 2-1 on the Avs. That one at Pepsi Center. Tolvanen going to take this draw. Excuse me, Teuvo Teravainen going to take the draw. 6-on-5 as the empty net was full for Spencer Knight. Seattle scored 3 straight in this third. Here's Levshinov. There's a stick that was broken in half. Seattle trying to get it out of the zone. They can't right now. And what are we getting? We're getting a puck that was picked up off the backhand of Joey Decord. And that was just thrown at the net from way away from the camera angle. But it's another face-off dot on the left side in the O zone for the Blackhawks. They got 28 seconds left. Ryan Donato going to take it here for the Hawks. And they'll have to do it again. Donato's not going to get waved out of the circle. Donato can't win it. Gaudreau gets a piece of it. Seattle still trying to get it out. Connor Bedard. We'll leave it here for Levshunov. Toward the left side, dot Frank Nazar. Right in the traffic. Here's a leave. Here for the Hawks. Down to 10. Levshunov can't hold it in. He's going to go back. That's not good. As this goes to 5, Chicago's going to run out of time. Levshunov was hot dogging, and he couldn't hold it into the zone, and that's how the game ends.
Wow.
Seattle wins 3-2, and color me surprised because I didn't think there was any way that they were getting 2 points, let alone 1. They get 3 unanswered. They take the first 2 meetings of Chicago this year. They win 3-2. Well, Ian, I'm glad to be joined by you. I think we had a fun night, all things considered. I wish both of our teams would have won, but we got some exciting hockey on our hands. Looks like we'll get more late. The Sharks have just taken the lead. Before I sign off the air, I'm just going to see who that was. Adam Gaudette from Ty Delandria and Colin Graff. Yaroslav Askarov, 8 of 8. Anton Forsberg, 5 of 6. I just say go Sharks. As I get set to leave the airwaves, I'm going to try to be back on Saturday. Admittedly, I got a Sharks assignment early, but we'll see if I get anything late night. It's good to talk to you again, my friend.
Absolutely, and I hope to join you for more broadcasts in the future. This was fun.
Absolutely. We'll talk soon. See you.
That time of year again. Happy Hunting, where you can drive the Honda Wonderland of your own. The great offer on Fun to Drive you Hunt. Hurry into your local Honda dealer and experience the wonder of Happy Hunting.
All right, guys, signing out. Can't believe it, but the Kraken win 3-2. They come back. They score 3 unanswered in the third. They make it happen, and we'll see what we get here for this weekend. So I'm going to try to be back after my Sharks assignment against Muskegon. If Cooper does join on Saturday, he's going to take the brunt of the play-by-play, but we'll see what we get. I'll get a game story here shortly. Should be fun. Kraken steal 1, 3-2.